This is head football coach Chris Yeager. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for your support of our football team and the athletic department. We couldn't do what we do without you, so thank you for your support, and go Spartans.
Baptist Health is on your team, where every play, every cheer, every moment matters. From everyday care to life's emergencies, we've got you covered. Our commitment to your care and the health of our community is at the heart of everything we do. Baptist Health, on your team, on and off the field.
Mountain Brook, we're not just your home team. We're your team for the best value guarantee. Save with a 3-year price lock. And get a free phone on any plan. Need even more ways to save? Get free satellite text messaging for all. Save 40% on top streaming services. Plus, save $15 a month when you bundle mobile and home. Score these great deals at Cellular Sales, your local Verizon authorized retailer.
Hey, I'm David Faulkner. As a graduate of Mountain Brook and as a parent of 3 students who graduated from Mountain Brook, I am proud to support Mountain Brook High School athletics. I hope you'll join me in doing the same, and I look forward to seeing you at a game. Go Spartans!
Hello everyone, and welcome into the Coach Yeager's Playbook presented by Reeves Construction. I'm William Galloway. This is Coach Chris Yeager. Coach, good to see you today.
Good to see you, William.
And we are recording a little bit earlier in the week compared to the past couple of games because we've got Pinson Valley on Thursday night. No Friday night lights, Thursday night lights. So we'll talk about that game in a little bit. But Mountain Brook coming off the heels of a region loss. We suffered 49-0 defeat to the hands of Clay Chalkville last week in Spartan Stadium. How do you make a game where it was not exactly what we wanted, didn't go exactly to the game plan and all those things, but what do you make of that loss, and what do you tell your team to kind of turn around and move forward into the rest of the season?
Well, the big thing you do is you lean into it. You don't gloss over it. Like human nature says, let's turn the page, let's don't look at the film, let's move on to the next game. But then what you do is you lose an opportunity to learn some very, very valuable lessons, which we did, and the big thing you have to do is you got to look and you got to say, where can I take responsibility in everything that happened? Where do I take responsibility in preparing the team? We come off of a very emotional win over Homewood. They come off of a very emotional win over Thompson. Coach Floyd did a much better job getting his team ready than I did. We also have to, did we play our best game? Not by a long shot. We're better than what we played. And so, it gives us a great deal of room to rebound if we learn those lessons, And so the losses like that are tough. I mean, they really are. But again, the worst thing in the world that you can do is, after going through something that's as uncomfortable and as difficult as that, if you're going to experience something as difficult as that, you need to get everything out of it you can. And so that's really what we've been trying to do this week.
Was that your message to the team in the immediate aftermath of that game? Because obviously that can be just draining emotionally, of course physically, from playing a tough 48 minutes of football against a very quality team in Clay Chalkville. But what did you tell your guys in that moment right after the game to kind of frame their mindsets to move forward and learn and then look forward to the rest of the season? 3 key region games coming up.
Sure. Well, the biggest thing that you tell your players is that football is a very unforgiving sport. It does not care who you played last. It does not care how you feel. It does not care how many injuries you have. It does not care what the other team does as far as, whether they play in the way that we play. It doesn't care. And then the other thing too is, I think one of the greatest lessons, we are not very good at being another school. We're not very good at being a Clay Chalkville. We're not very good at being the Homewood Patriots. We're not very good at being the Pinson Valley Indians. We are very good at being the Mountain Brook Spartans when we are the Mountain Brook Spartans. So the big challenge there is to be who we are and to play the way that we play at the pinnacle of our ability. And so I think that's the greatest challenge.
I think that's a great transition, thinking about who we are as a team, as a program, and individually, guys are who they are. Somebody can't play out of position, they can't be somebody else, and if someone's injured, like we've seen a lot of injuries this year, running back 2 or wide receiver 2 or offensive lineman 2 can't be the person who's in front of them. They have to be themselves. And I think one guy, and maybe just thinking off the field, who cannot be replicated is a guy like William Tabb. He is a personality that is one of one. He's a great young man, but he's somebody who stepped into a starting position this year as a senior for your Mountain Brook team. So as we like to do each week, we're going to highlight a player, and we want to highlight William Tabb each week. And you work closely with the offensive lineman. Tell us a little bit about William, what he brings to the table, also the locker room. We know he's a fun personality, and who he is and what he means to your program.
Sure. Well, as you were talking about William, I was noticing, you were smiling. And so anybody that talks about William, that's sort of the first response that you get. The one thing that I would say about William is, he definitely marches to the beat of a different drummer in a good way. And he's real fun to be around. I do have the privilege of coaching him, and he was injured as a junior, missed the season. But, the thing that people don't realize about William, there's a unique player that has an incredible personality, the kind of person everybody loves to be around, got a warm, loving spirit, but when you cross the stripes, a switch flips and they transition into whatever the team needs, which in his case, a lot of times he needs to be a road grader, and he's pretty darn good at that, but that's just from a playing standpoint. But I do, it's just so fun to coach William, and he keeps us all smiling all the time.
I've been in my position in Mountain Brook for 4.5 years now, and so it's kind of getting around to the point where you think, I remember, that young man or that young woman from maybe when they were in mid-elementary school or junior high, and I remember just meeting William at I walked into an 8th grade math class. I guess this was 4 years ago now, and hearing his personality, seeing him, and I thought that's going to be a special young man, and seeing the way that he's matured and grown, and having the opportunity to lead for this football team and the offensive line has been special to see. And we're going to lean on him as well as the entire offensive line tonight. We're playing a Pinson Valley team who you will talk about in a moment is well rested, was on a bye week last week while we were playing Clay Chalkville, but this is must win is a silly term to use when you think about a region game. Every game is a must win. But this is one of those get right, flip the page, turn everything over, and set your path straight for a strong October finish. So tell us about this matchup tonight and what we see in Pinson Valley and what we can correct from last week to move forward and try and get a region win tonight.
Sure. Well, the region that we're in, to me, is the most competitive region in 6A. I think it's 5 of the last 6 state champions, they've come out of our region. And, it's just from top to bottom, it's a very, very tough, and it's a very demanding region. And, as we go down the home stretch, it's just like any time you're in a good region, every matchup's crucial. But, again, the truth of it is, you just can't get caught up in all that. That cannot be your focus. Your focus has to be, what lessons did I learn last week? How can I apply them this week and move forward? And I'll say this, Pinson Valley is a very, very good football team. We played them last year, and if you look at the team last year, I wouldn't pay a whole lot of attention to that score because all those guys that were on the team last year are back, plus they've added some. And so, I showed the film to our players on Monday morning, and and I showed them, just the skill set that we're about to place, and it was very eye-opening, and they understood. They know what we're up against, and we're playing. I think it's probably top 3 defenses that we've played all year long.
And I think your team's seen a lot of maturity and growth because this is game number 8 on the season. This is game number 5 on the road. So they've had to grow up fast because there's something about playing away from the comforts of home, especially as a 16, 17, 18-year-old in high school, where you got to grow up fast. Mm-hmm. And so I think this is kind of the ultimate test of, hey, we got hit in the mouth last week. How do we respond? We're going back on the road, a place where we spent almost the entire month of September. So what a great opportunity for your players to respond tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. And the thing, part of, leaning into the game last week is, just think if you go through your season, your whole athletic career, you never face a defeat. You never face a hard defeat, like we faced last week. Well, that's really not a realistic thought process to have, and again, sports is supposed to teach you the lessons for life. Well, that's not how life's going to work out either, and so great lessons as far as how do you respond to adversity. You can't, the things that you can control, you control. But the most important thing you can control is how do I respond to each one of these situations.
Well, let's talk about situationally and preparedness and getting your team ready. So as a coach, each season, each year kind of looks similar in terms of, when your season wraps up in November, December, you kind of think about who we have coming back, this, that, and the other. You pan out January, off-season training, spring football, summer, fall camp, yada, yada, yada. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of a week for you. So as a head coach, you prepare each week, you play a game on Friday night, you watch tape, and you do all these things. Kind of take us through your weekly routine and how that is altered playing tonight on a Thursday as opposed to a Friday.
Sure. Well, the biggest thing when a game is over, for us, the witching hour is really 1 o'clock on Saturday. And what I mean by that is we've got to have the last opponent that we played, we've got to have that thing digested, and we've got to know the areas that we've got to improve in. And, there's some coaches that stay up and they can't go to sleep until they watch the film, and so they're up after the game. I get up early in the morning, and I go all day long, and so looking at all the different phases of the game. I spend a lot of detail on the offensive line because that's the position that I coach. But then I look at the other positions, but I have conversations with Coach Easley about the offense, Coach Stearns about the defense, and sometimes Coach Rodriguez, depending on what the situation was the night before, about the special teams. And then, we bring the players in on Sundays and from 3 to 5. And, Saturday afternoon, we move on to the next opponent, and we finish, working on the next opponent. Somewhere Saturday night, get up early on Sunday and start it again until we meet with them, at 3 o'clock on Sunday. But our week is very, very much front loaded. And then, have a full padded practice on Monday. We go helmets on Tuesday, and usually on Monday too, we play a JV game.
I was about to say, add in that JV game Monday night.
Yeah, and then we're shells on Wednesday, and then Thursday it's helmets again. But one of the big things too, like this week, whoever you're playing next week, so next week we play Huffman. We have done a lot of, like I said, it's front loaded, so we do film exchange on Wednesday for the next week. So we're always, we've got coaches on our staff that are going to have to call the game, and they're focused on the game that we are in. But there's also coaches on our staff that are looking at our next opponent and getting all the information, the data in, and so that we can be up and running on Saturday afternoons,
All right, so here's my vain question of the week. You watch the tape, and I'm sure you're watching the huddle film. As much as you probably look back on previous years in life and enjoy your Saturday morning cartoons, you don't want to hear the antics from Wayne Ingram and myself on Saturday morning. I presume you're watching huddle?
Sure, that's right.
I won't take it personally. Yeah. It's fine.
But I will say this, William, I get a lot of phone calls about you and William, and they're all good. One of my favorite is, that they say that you are a very much play-by-play and just paint such a great picture for everybody to understand the game. And then Wayne is like the John Madden of high school football. So y'all are a great team. I mean, y'all really are.
I appreciate it.
And I do get to hear it at the end of the season. I go back, or somebody will send me a clip and say, hey, you got to hear this. And it's really good stuff. So.
I appreciate that. Certainly wasn't fishing for a compliment. Do appreciate it, but it's a great, it's an enjoyable ride to be a small part of this great program. And we look forward to each of our Friday nights, and this week a Thursday night game. So I'll leave you with a final word as we get ready for Pinson Valley. Highlights tonight are going to be a feature of Youth Night last week. If you missed it, Mountain Brook football came out and high-fived 350 youth football players. It was a special moment. So we'll show you that in a second. But, Coach, go ahead and take it away as we prepare to take on the Indians in just a few minutes.
Well, during our conversation, I had two thoughts. One was the fact that we had 350-plus football players in our program, 3rd through 6th grade, and so many more at the game. And that's a win in itself. I mean, we're unique in that. I mean, Mountain Brook, we're a standalone. There's nobody else that can make that claim in our state. I don't even know if you can in America. So that's a win in itself. And then the other thing I was thinking about, we were talking about William Tabb. He's the nephew of Miss Plauscher, the great and infamous Latin teacher that was here for so many years, and so many people that listened to us benefited from her teaching. And so anyway, we have so many great players on our team with great pedigree in the Mountain Brook community and the legacy and the history of Mountain Brook. So that's very exciting about our program. But anyway, excited about this game, and I know that we'll have a great crowd follow us to Pinson, and we're excited about that. Look forward to seeing you there.
A part of the
And now we turn our attention to the left side of Spartan Stadium, where over 350 youth football players in 3rd through 6th grade are going to follow some of their idols and these guys in green and gold and make their way onto the field. Such a special event. Wayne, you coach youth football, and the opportunity for hundreds of kids to look up to these players and take the field tonight with them is a special moment in our community.
Was down there with current and former players. They are so excited. One of their favorite nights of the year, and here they come. Here come all of the Spartans making their way back onto the home turf for the first time in a month. Literally, Mountain Brook Elementary, Crestline, Cherokee Bend, Brookwood Forest, and the Mountain Brook High School varsity Spartans make their way, and you see every last one of them in all of their jerseys, from Raiders to Bills to Falcons to Cowboys. They're all here tonight. And once you're a Spartan, you're always a Spartan. Great to see these guys line it up with us and be a part of our Spartan Army this evening. Welcome in to Pinson Valley High School, where the Mountain Brook Spartans are on the road tonight for the final time this regular season, taking on the Indians in a 6A Region 6 matchup. We're so glad to be here. Good evening, everyone. Alongside Wayne Ingram, I'm William Galloway. So pleased to be with you on this Thursday night edition of Mountain Brook football. The Spartans trying to bounce back after a tough game versus Clay Chalkville back in Spartan Stadium last week, a 49-0 loss, but we're going to shake that one off, put it behind us, and move on to get ready for tonight's contest. Wayne Ingram joins me in the booth now. Partner, good to be with you. It's a short week, and so glad that we've made it. We've got a great vantage point thanks to our crew, and finally it's time for some football. Yeah, a little Thursday night lights here. Here we go. They're going to call this one a must-win because we have to win it for playoff implications, and we're excited to be out here in lovely Pinson Valley.
We're going to have our national anthem from the Pinson Valley Band in just a moment, so we will send it over to them at the current time. Send it over to our starting lineups as we continue our Reeves Construction pregame show. Here are your starters for the Mountain Brook Spartans for tonight's 6A Region 6 contest. And now, your starting lineup for the Mountain Brook Spartans, coached by Chris Yeager. Here are your starters on defense.
John Thompson, senior, D-line.
Boyd Cooper, senior, D-line.
Will Ellis, junior, defensive line.
Miller Lee, senior, outside linebacker. Skip Stuerman, junior, linebacker.
Luke Waldrop, junior, linebacker. Miller Crumpton, junior, linebacker.
Hayes Wendell, senior, cornerback.
LG Williams, senior, defensive back.
Mac Mandel, senior, defensive back.
Gaines Drew, senior, defensive back.
Here are the starters on offense.
William Tabb, senior, O-line.
Rocco Gray, senior, offensive line.
Rob Shane Vogel, senior, offensive line. Henry Jimenez, senior, offensive line.
Archie Andrews, junior, wide receiver.
Sam Smith, senior, receiver.
John Colvin, junior, wide receiver.
Trey Vinson, senior, wide receiver. Wallace Hunter, junior, tight end.
Bennett Jordan, junior, tight end.
Stuart Andrews, senior, running back.
Caden Hoffbauer, senior, quarterback.
Some great names and a beautiful sunset over Pinson Valley High School. And we're excited about all of those starters. We'll tell you about our captains in a moment. But, Wayne, you said one thing I thought really stood out. It's the most important game because it's the next game, and every game is a must-win when it's a region game. What is so important for Mountain Brook about getting right tonight and trying to take down the Indians on the road?
Well, you got a few things. So if you think back to last year, we were in a very similar position. We've got to go 3-0 on the way in to guarantee ourselves a spot in the playoff. But a 2 seed is still within reach. Unfortunately, Pinson Valley is going to be the biggest competitor for that seed, along with Oxford, who we have a tiebreaker over. So tonight becomes uber important, not just because it's the next day, not just because you have to go 3-0 to really lock in that playoff spot, but mainly because we will be directly competing with the Indians for that spot in the 6A playoffs and really for a favorable seed so that we can set up a long run. Similar to last year in a lot of ways, but different because we're coming off a blowout loss, something that really only happens about every 4 or 5 years to the Spartans. And so you're really interested to see how these guys respond because they were not a part of the program the last time we lost by quite a margin.
Yeah, I see 2 Spartan captains over on the far sideline donning the Mountain Brook Road Whites tonight. We will introduce you to them now. Let's meet our captains for tonight's contest.
William Tabb, senior, O-line.
Billy Farrow, senior, defensive line.
Oh, Captain, my captain, Billy Farrow and brother Billy Tabb, William Tabb. We are so thankful for them and their efforts throughout the season, and very much deserving to be honored tonight as performance captains for the Spartans. Wayne, beautiful night. Just over 5 minutes to go for kickoff. We've got a beautiful perch here on the road, so we've got a great vantage point for all of our viewers. Our production crew, Jonathan Barbie, Jason Anderson, Brady Moscato, and Brooklyn Anderson, giving us the ones and twos and the sights and sounds tonight on the road. Have you totally flushed last week? I think Coach Yeager talked about it in his pregame show, but he was not afraid to run from that conversation. It's something where you got to learn from it, and they did this week. So what are you taking from a game like that into a game like this?
Well, William, you want to flush bad plays, but when it's bad experiences and bad games, you really want to chew on those things. And you don't chew on them in the moment. You take your time, flush that play, be on to the next one. But when it's a bad experience and a bad performance like that, you really want to go back and start thinking about everything, because most of the time that didn't just happen on Friday night. That was something that occurred Sunday through Friday night in the preparation process that led to a result like that and an effort like that. I mean, a lot of those plays, it wasn't necessarily like, hey, we just got out-thought or out-athleted there. It was, hey, this is basic kind of training camp stuff, and if we're not willing to do it when the pressure's on, when we feel like we're playing a superior opponent, then you really can't trust yourself to do it on the easy games. And so a lot of it is going to be a hard look in the mirror of, hey, do you trust this system? Do you trust this process during the week? And are you going to show that you can come out and beat a team that we are very capable of beating tonight here in Pinson Valley?
Yeah, last year's game was a thriller. It was a turning point for the Indians, but also for the Spartans in a game where Mountain Brook trailed and had to have some non-offensive touchdowns in order to propel themselves to a lead. Our coin toss is up and complete. We'll get a signal from our head official in a moment. But, Wayne, if you remember back to last year's game in Spartan Stadium, a 47-30 contest, it had it all. Stuart Andrews, 4 touchdowns, 195 yards on the ground. Miller Crumpton had a kickoff return, I want to say fumble recovery, but it's almost like he stole it out of the back of his helmet above his shoulder pads. Yep. It had Hayes Wendell with a pick 6. And so, we know if it's anything like last year, we're in store for a great high school football game tonight.
Yeah, turnovers are going to be something we really have to pay attention to. The Spartans generally pretty sporty about not committing them, but this Pinson Valley offense really has the capability of scoring or turning the ball over at any given point. I mean, they score at a high clip, but they definitely will give the ball up, and so you're going to have to look for exceptional effort in executing the plays when they show up. If there's a turnover-worthy play, do we make the catch on an interception? Do we make the strip or the scoop on a fumble? And those are going to be the little plays, the small movements, the things that you don't really think about in the grand scheme of things on, a typical play that could make a huge difference in this ball game.
The band is here, the Dorians are here, the color guard is here, the cheerleaders are donning their October pink, and the Spartans are about to run out from right to left here at Pinson Valley. We're fired up for this contest. We're so appreciative of all of our viewers, all of our sponsors for making tonight possible and bringing us to your living room. It is a long weekend if you're in Mountain Brook. Students have an E-Day tomorrow and then out for a quasi-weather day, Columbus Day on Monday. The hardworking employees of Mountain Brook will be up and at 'em tomorrow for some professional development, so not everybody is off, but we're excited. I know the students are excited to get this game and then maybe some rest on a long weekend. We know football and the coaching staff will be right back to work. I really enjoyed the conversation with Coach Yeager, hearing about his weekly routine and how that was kind of pushed up and propelled a little bit with playing on Thursday. But Wayne, a key indicator, and this was the same last year with scheduling, Pinson did have a bye week coming into this contest. So a short week for them is actually a longer break, and so that is something to keep note of. I'm sure they were watching a lot of Mountain Brook tape, not just on the Clay game last week, but on the entire season, getting ready for the Spartans tonight.
Well, Pinson Valley, along with the Spartans and along with dozens and dozens of high schools throughout the state, know that this is the time where wins and losses count the same as they did early in the season, but they mean a whole lot more when it comes to the playoff picture. So in a similar boat they are, where they're trying to improve their stake, become that second team in our region, and we'll see who can get it done tonight.
The Spartans take the field here at Pinson Valley High School behind the lead of the cheerleaders. And we are under 60 seconds away from kickoff here. William Galloway alongside my partner Wayne Ingram. We're so glad all of our viewers are with us. Pinson Valley, we are next to their roaring band. They're going to wear their all-black home uniforms. And you hear the famed chant coming through your channels tonight. See Coach Gabe Rodriguez coaching up our Spartans on the far sideline, getting our special teams unit ready to go. Looks like we've got our return team out, so we will get the ball first. I know Coach Rod was fired up last week after some special teams plays that gave Mountain Brook a lot of learning opportunities, some fake plays, and reminded us to keep our head on a swivel. So our guys will be ready on the special teams front tonight.
And just across the board, you want to look for guys to respond positively to the adversity last week. I mean, this is going to be a nice road crowd that the Pinson Valley faithful have turned out tonight. Some of them might have just realized it was a Thursday night game and made their way over to the stadium. But a loud band, a raucous environment, and the garnet and gold, Florida State-esque Pinson Valley Indians ready to kick it off here to the Spartans.
Pinson Valley will have this Vulcan Tire and Automotive kickoff go left to right. Archie Andrews and John Colvin deep to receive for Mountain Brook. This one will go high and near side. Fielded by Mountain Brook at the 26-yard line. No return from Bennett Jordan.
Yeah, the directional kick right there, well struck. We're going to take it over on about the 30, though. About a 10-yard plus for the special teams unit, mostly due to the kick, but
Wayne, I see number 10 for the Spartans, Stuart Andrews, back after battling injury game in and game out all season long. At this point, we've watched enough football to know that everybody's dealing with something in a mid-October game, but so glad that the senior tailback is back and in action tonight for the Spartans. Caden Hoffbauer, the quarterback, stands in the shotgun. Stuart Andrews motions behind him. Mountain Brook from their own 26. It's Stuart's number called on first down, and he'll make his way to the 30.
And that time we went to the boundary there with some extra blockers and really did a good job of getting a hat on a hat. We were able to, they respotted to the 26 on the kicks, able to get 4 yards right there. But most of those before contact, so great to see Stewart back. We go from down 4 running backs to just down 3 running backs now. With the starter back in the saddle for the Spartans.
A 2 tight end set for Mountain Brook. Bennett Jordan and Wallace Hunter in the game. They, along with Sam Smith, motion towards the top of the Spartan line. Second down. It's Stuart Andrews again, cutting back inside, and he'll make his way down to the 34. Third and short.
Yeah, good cut right there. Kind of running the stretch wide zone to the boundary, and we typically rely on the quarterback if we're going to run the play as called and then give it back to the running back, and he's got what's called a bend assignment. You kind of bend it. It's like a designed cutback. That time good for 3 yards. Bring up the third manager.
Right guard for the Spartans, Henry Slaughter, and for the injured Pearson Avery, hoping to have Pearson back at some point later in the season. Sam Smith motions to the bottom of the screen.
And we had a few too many ticks on the clock right there. Went ahead and called our timeout to preserve the yardage and avoid a 5-yard penalty for delay of game.
It's a 3rd and 3 for Mountain Brook after this Medical Properties Trust timeout. We'll keep it here and tell you a little bit about our keys to the game on offense, Wayne. Obviously, from last week's shutout, not much to speak of in terms of stats, but you look at Mountain Brook and 123 yards, all of them on the ground against that vaunted Clay Chalkville Cougar defense, and obviously a lot of time spent in the film room this week trying to get things right. And Pinson is not Clay, but Clay is not Pinson for tonight's contest.
Yeah, you know, if you think back to the Oxford game, we were able to really explosively run the ball, you know, really for the first time all season. We were able to get 9-10 yards per carry. Went over to Homewood, and it was a little bit tougher sledding. Really got the job done through the air in that game, particularly with the final drive of regulation. And so now it's kind of going back and finding that mix. You know, the running back in that Oxford game was Lawson McKnight, who's now out for the season. Stewart watching from the sideline, and tonight it's where you're taking notes.
3rd and 3 for Mountain Brook. 10:34 to go in the opening frame. Hoffbauer from the gun. And he's going to fake a give to Stewart, roll out to the right on the Spartan sideline. Using his feet, he'll pass the chains past the 40 and out of bounds around the 45. First down, Spartans.
Yeah, great work right there. We love giving Hoffbauer the field. Got a full, 32, 33, 34 yards there from hash to sideline to scamper and scramble and find an edge. And right there he's able to get upfield. A good block by John Colvin to secure the first down and a little bit extra for the Spartans.
Out at the 44, so Mountain Brook sets up 1st and 10. And Wayne, watching that cellular sales replay, I saw at least 4 Indians bite on the Stewart fake. And when you go to him early and you know what a threat he is and how well he succeeded in this game last year, that might be open oftentimes tonight. It's Stewart's number called again, fights his way across midfield down to Indian territory about the 48-yard line.
Yeah, and, as much as the battle is won and lost in the trenches, the secondary battle is with the second level, linebackers and edge defenders and boundary apex defenders for the defense. And anytime we try and move the ball around and try and give some play action fakes, all we're trying to do is draw that linebacking core, that second layer of the defense up. You can see Pinson Valley has about 5 or 6 guys on that level. That's where the game gets won and lost.
Stuart Andrews takes it 2 yards on the 2nd and 2, and Mountain Brook picks up a first down to the Indian 45-yard line. Spartans move the chains for the second time this evening.
Yeah, to finish the thought, that's where the game gets won and lost in this type of matchup. Definitely the trenches matter, but if you're just trying to watch it from the side and say, hey, does this play have a chance or not, see what happens with those folks that are standing on the 40 right now.
Wayne, a lot of stampede early for Mountain Brook from your playing days. Can you recall trying to go formation-wise, stampede, do you want to go over and over and over, or is that just circumstantial?
It really just depends on if a team is trying to match your formation or not. If they're a team that really likes to shift around and move a ton pre-snap, the stampede's excellent because we can kind of predetermine our play, go up there and snap it before they're able to get a favorable matchup with numbers. So that's really the thought process that goes into it. If you've got more of a stagnant defense that says, hey, we're going to line up in this no matter what. You think about the Homewood game. Homewood, very stingy, just gonna run their defense no matter what, and we didn't utilize it quite as much.
Appreciate that insight. And a 2nd and 8 for Mountain Brook coming up inside the Pinson Valley 45. Hoffbauer fakes a give, rolls back, throws intended for Bennett Jordan, who can't bring it in. 3rd and long upcoming for the green and gold.
Yeah, had a couple of options there. Typically, if you see receivers that close in proximity, something went a little bit awry. So not totally sure if someone had a deeper route on that, but it allowed a defender to kind of cover 2 receivers at once, or else we would have had an explosive pickup there on 2nd and long. Instead, we've got 3rd and long.
Substitutions for the Spartans, Archie Andrews, Sam Smith in the lineup. Trey Vinson returns. John Colvin to the near side. And Trey Vinson stands in the backfield and now motions near side. Here's Hoffbauer on a 3rd and long. Throws to the near side intended for Archie, who is met quickly by a Pinson Valley player. Falls incomplete, brings up 4th down.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of footsteps there. Would have been short of the first down, but a little bit more of a decision. Instead, we got one Patrick Cry rolling out with the K-ball, ready to snap it to William Russ and punt this ball on over to the Pinson Valley Indians. So they're going to use 2 returners, something we've seen this year a couple times.
William Russ will stand at the 44. Patrick Cry will send it to him on a 4th and 8 with 8:23 left to go in the opening quarter. High kick from Russ. Might roll end over end. Can we get a Spartan bounce? Not quite into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Pinson Valley will make their first trip to the field.
Tell you what, when you're standing at about the middle of the field and you're hitting a touch kick 50 yards in the air, about 49 right there specifically, that's pretty good gauge of the distance. Just got to work on the spin factor a little bit and see if we can get it to back up a little bit next time.
So the Spartan defense is on the field for the first time tonight, and obviously, tough assignment we talked about last week, but when you look at this defense and the body of work throughout the season, Wayne, you talked about wanting to get back to turnovers, and you and I had the fortune throughout all of last season, every game we called featured one of the esteemed Taco Mama turnovers. We hadn't had one since the Oxford game, so obviously we're hungry for some chips and queso. Here's a first down for the Indians, and Mac Mandel in on the coverage, quarterback Rico Freeman dialing that one up on first down.
A little bit of a double clutch there, and Mac actually did a great job jumping it. If he hadn't, he might have had the pick already. A little bit of an overthrow there by Rico. He is a talented gunslinger, plays a little bit of everything, but predominantly going to be taking the snaps at quarterback tonight. He's an explosive athlete. You got to look out for him.
And on second down, Rico fakes the give and keeps it. He's brought down by Miller Lee along with Mac Mandel.
You're going to have a plan for the quarterback run, and even when he's most dangerous is when he drops back to pass and decides to scramble. Very elusive runner, very speedy fella. And going to be a challenge tonight.
1st and 10 from the 30 for the Indians, and all of the Brook comes in on that tackle. Pickup of 4, maybe 5.
A little bit of a rally to the football tackle there. Pinson Valley, a couple positive plays. Get the Spartans on their heels a little bit, looking for the ball instead of attacking their space. Let's see how we adjust here.
Freeman stands in the gun, the tailback, number 6, Simeon Connor. And quick pass out to the near side, brought down by Hayes Wendell, who had a pick 6 in last year's contest in this game, and he wraps up for Mountain Brook right there.
Yeah, great reaction by Hayes, but a better route run by the Indians, able to get the first down. Got the appropriate depth before he curled back in. Ball thrown on the money.
So they get to the 42, and a quick out pass on the far side. Mac Mandel can't bring him down, and a break back to the inside. Miller Lee stops him at midfield. It's a pickup of 8.
Another successful check down the list of the opening script right here. They typically say you run that opening script till you get a 3rd down or get into the red area, so they are still rocking and rolling with a 2nd and short right here.
From midfield, it's a 2nd and 2, and Rico Scott hands off to Connor, who bulls his way forward down to the Spartan 45, possibly 46. And number 6, Simeon Connor, the sophomore, moves the sticks.
And Pinson Valley right now, a good balance of run and pass. Really utilizing the quarterback's legs and the threat thereof to create some space for their running backs.
Midway through this first quarter, 1st and 10 from the Mountain Brook 46. It's Connor on first down, and he breaks 3 tackles before being brought down by Miller Crumpton, but a 10-yard gain will move the sticks once again.
Yeah, I thought we won the battle on the line of scrimmage right there. Linebackers and secondary players unable to get a clean tackle, or else we would have had a stop there for a loss.
1st and 10 from the Mountain Brook 35. It's Rico Freeman shaking and baking, picking up 6, bring up a 2nd and 4.
And, a lot of times you just got to settle in as a defense. Some of these early tackles are tough to make. You haven't gotten a good thud in the game quite yet. I love that we're in position, but we got to secure the tackle. Don't try and make a hit. Don't try and get out of the way. Find that hip.
2nd and 4 from the 29. 5 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. Boyd Cooper on the bottom of the Spartan defensive line, going to show pressure. And here's a give to Connor. Fights his way to the 25. Yet again, 1st down Indians.
A little better action there. Luke Waldrop taking the appropriate pad level. Some of these speedy backs, if you're trying to tackle high, they can still use their center of gravity and spin or cut out of those tackles. You've got to go and secure those hips so they don't have a way to maneuver.
Linebacker core showing pressure and then drops back. 1st and 10. Wrapped up and taken down. Crumpton on the stop. Will Ellis on the stop along with Miller Lee.
Yeah, great work right there. Miller Crumpton doing exactly what we just talked about, securing those hips. I mean, that's how you move everywhere on a football field ultimately. It's one of the most important parts of the body for football, and that time we're able to go for the hip tackle, and even though we slid down to the ankles, and cleanup work there by Will Ellis.
Mayor Teague in for the Spartans, number 50 at nose tackle on a 2nd and 10. Rico Freeman, pressure from the Spartans. Pass is complete to the 5-yard line inside the red zone. 1st down Indians. I believe that was Simeon Carter on that catch.
Yeah, if it went in the window right there, a little bit of a tip your hat. DB was in good position, and a great throw and great catch.
Chris Thomas was on the reception, and he puts the Indians in 1st and goal from the 5. Quarterback keeper goes 5 yards, and the Indians score first, courtesy of Rico Freeman. 3:16 to go in this first quarter.
Yeah, just everything Indians right there. Able to give a good mix of aerial attack, quarterback run, running back runs. And the variety just too much for the Spartans to keep up with as Rico Freeman scampers in. Opens up a 6-0 lead for the moment.
Our GoPro got so excited it jumped over the border here at our press box, our great vantage point at Pinson Valley. We got to tell the GoPro we're cheering for the Spartans. That PAT is good, and it's a 7-0 lead for Pinson Valley. Nearly 9 minutes into this contest. And Wayne, it's not only a get-right game for Mountain Brook, but now a get-right time for our special teams, for our offense, and I know Coach Stearns and our defensive staff will make the proper adjustments after that long drive from the Indians.
Yeah, a lot to dig into and take a look at on the sideline there on the camera. I mean, historically, this Mountain Brook defense is very, very good at adjustments. And so an opening drive touchdown, when it takes that many plays, it can seem a little bit disheartening. But if you think about it, for them to have to snap it as many times as they did on that drive just to get to pay dirt, you'd like to think we can make our adjustments to the fact that they're not going to have multiple 12, 13, 14 play drives going down the field like that. So they'll be working on that while the Spartan offense has to work on getting a few more first downs of their own, and we would hope a touchdown.
End zone's always a good place to be on Thursday night, Friday night, doesn't really matter. If you're in the green and gold of the Mountain Brook Spartan uniform, you like finding the end zone. Here's another Vulcan Tire and Auto kickoff. Wash, rinse, repeat of the opening frame. And that one is Archie Andrews, fielded at the 25 and bursts forward for a 5-yard pickup.
Yeah, and another adjustment we're going to start to make is on the kick cover unit, or kick return unit. If they're going to keep with the directional kick, that time we're able to get Archie up in the return formation to be the recipient, plus about 4 yards from our last return, so we'll take that one. And the Spartans set up, going from right to left here.
Trying to capitalize on what was a moderately successful opening sequence, and Mountain Brook now trying to punch one into the Royal Automotive red zone or get a Browning touchdown. On 1st down, Stuart Andrews fights his way forward for a pickup of 4.
Yeah, that time it was a great lead block by Bennett Jordan. Able to get his nose in the inside there and pick up a linebacker. Let's see if we get a hat on a hat here. We definitely did with the defensive lineman, definitely did on the 2nd level.
Archie Andrews,
you like to see.
The receiver right above your score bug, and Stuart Andrews motions to the right of Hoffbauer. 3 receivers top of your screen, and Stuart gets the call on 2nd and 5.
Yeah, we clearly like this inside run game tonight. We've got the threat of QB run of our own. Right here you see Tayton almost trying to sell his read and just decided to make the block anyways, as we're able to fall forward for the first right there.
Rocco Gray, William Tabb, and Rob Shanvogel working the left side of the line, and the Spartans pick up a Milo's first down to the Indian 40-yard line. Their own 40-yard line, excuse me. Stuart Andrews now plunges forward for 2 on a 1st and 10.
Yeah, that time Pinson committing 1 extra to the interior in our read/play call, instructing us to try and press it. We still get positive gain on the play, but thought we might have had some numbers on the outside, so take a gander at that if you start seeing some extra black shirts in the center of the field.
2nd and 8 for Mountain Brook from their own 42-yard line. Rocco Gray looks to set this one in motion. Wallace Hunter, the tight end, motions to the left side of the line. It's Andrews and Colvin now to the near side. Stuart Andrews gets the give on 2nd and 8. Stewart left, Stewart right this time. He'll pick up 2 again.
Yeah, I'm seeing a little less respect to the strong side of the offensive formation. So that time we move to where we have 2 receivers down at the bottom of the screen. Really only 1 defender out there. The safety kind of came back to the center. Going to be interesting to see if Brad Easley keys in on that. And yeah, with perhaps a different mentality from Pinson Valley here on 3rd and long. But if that's something we try and exploit through the air shortly.
Spartans working a 3rd and 6 from their own 44. Hoffbauer rolling out of the pocket to the near side now, looking long. Got a man, John Colvin brings it in across the 30. Colvin is headed for the end zone and scores for the first time this season. Mountain Brook looks to tie it up here at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, this is just a curl go right here. Almost like a stutter go. John Colvin off screen right here. Fakes the curl at the sticks, turns it back around, and gets behind the defensive secondary for the Pinson Valley Indians and able to make a man miss. Kind of got a block right there by Archie Andrews and a touchdown for the good guys to even this thing up.
56-yard strike from Hoffbauer to Colvin. And Patrick Cry sends it to Sam Smith, and then William Russ is able to finish the job and tie it at 7.
Announcers jinxed us in many ways there. First, we missed the extra point. And second, I'm afraid William Russ is down. So it's neither a tie ball game nor a good scene for the Spartans athletic training staff out there to assist the junior do-everything kicker.
Yeah, Vantage Point had that one going through and looked down too early, but we're hoping William Russ is going to be okay. Adam Martin, Jake Jordan, head coach Chris Yeager attending to our junior kicker. Looks like they're working the left side of the hip, but a 7-6 ball game, and we'll see if we can get another look at that pass from Hoffbauer to John Colvin. 56-yard strike, first touchdown catch of the year.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was a very accurate throw right there when you're trying to fit it between the corner and the safety, and the corner really thought he was about to get a free one. Hoffbauer able to float it right over his head, though. And John Colvin not just making a tough catch, but a tough catch in traffic and still having the wherewithal to flip his hips, get on upfield, and score 6 for the Spartans. We see Russ walking off now with some assistance. And
let's take another look here at William Russ's kick, see if somebody got him or maybe it was an extension, but no good.
You know, William just kicks the ball so dang hard. He's been doing that since he was on the 4th grade Buccaneers circa 2019 when he was playing for Coach Wayne, and he would always kick before and after practice. Of course, no special teams at the rec league level, and you know, the kind of torque he's putting on his body there seems to have triggered something, so just hopeful that we can get some treatment there and get him back in the game as soon as possible.
Might have had a late season number switch, no 27 on our current roster. We will get that for you. The new kicker for Mountain Brook as William Russ steps aside.
Yeah, I would be surprised if that's not Anderson Roberts, but who knows?
Certainly looks the part, and Mountain Brook kicks this one away, fielded at the 5. Indians working left to right for the final few seconds of this first quarter, and breaking a tackle, bouncing out, moving out to the far side, pursued by Mountain Brook, now heading down the Spartan sideline. A wild return for Pinson Valley. Nearly runs the first quarter clock out, but they'll set up camp just above the 30-yard line.
I kind of want a second look at that one. I couldn't tell if that was a true bounce back and that his blocker got tackled, or if the original return man didn't deposit the ball to his fellow teammate and have him scamper back across the formation. Regardless, we get the carrier down, and the Indians going to take this thing over from their 34-yard line.
With it, Wayne, this game last year saw some special teams magic, and we almost had some right there, but 15 seconds to go in this opening quarter in a 7-6 ball game. Spartan defense trying to send a message and answer the bell from the opening Pinson Valley drive, where they went 75 yards. Another misdirection, broken tackle, moving down the Spartan sideline. Another broken tackle into Mountain Brook territory, knocked out of bounds at the Spartan 35.
Well, I'll tell you, Boyd Cooper was all over it, but a smaller back there able to duck down and get under the tackle and reverse field. Mac Mandel saved a touchdown right there with his hustle and effort, but a huge chunk yardage that we didn't see on the original drive from the Indians in this half.
Big pickup, 2 seconds to go. This will be the final play of the opening quarter. 1st and 10 from the Mountain Brook 35, and it's a give to Connor, who's swallowed up by Stewerman and company. That will send us to the first quarter break. Wayne, parting thoughts before we head to commercial.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, all in all, a steady first quarter for the Spartans. Yeah, making them snap it enough times on defense. Eventually you're going to be able to tighten the screws there, and the offense able to make a score happen when it counted. So hopeful that we can continue that here in the second quarter.
Spartan football, second quarter coming up when we return. We'll be right back after this.
Baptist Health is on your team. Where every play, every cheer, every moment matters. From everyday care to life's emergencies, we've got you covered. Our commitment to your care and the health of our community is at the heart of everything we do. Baptist Health. On your team, on and off the field.
Welcome back to Pinson Valley High School. I'm William Galloway alongside Wayne Ingram. I want to take a quick second and thank all of our sponsors. You see some commercials, but you also hear from Coach Hager, our champions, our green level sponsors, as well as our Spartan Plus sponsors. Appreciate all of them making Mountain Brook football possible. Each game day coming to your living room or your device wouldn't be possible without our great sponsors. So a second down for Pinson Valley to start the second quarter. Pass out to the flat and breaks the tackle from L.G. Williams. Pinson Valley scores once again on a 34-yard out pass, and then they have their second score of the night.
Yeah, that time pressure was being applied by Luke Waldrop and others. And kind of a desperation flip out to the flat that turns into a touchdown after a missed tackle by the Spartans.
So only 10 seconds into this second quarter.
Well, you know, you talk about making them snap it. How I can live with the first touchdown. If you let them go 3 plays just about straight down the field, that is a little tougher to parse with. Looks like we might be missing someone on the kicking unit, or
the PAT for the Pinson Valley Indians is up and good. Going to make sure I get all those calls right henceforth. And a 14-6 ball game. 11:50 to go.
You can see what happens when you got athletes out in space, and you know, we talked about Rico Freeman's legs, but he has got a more than serviceable arm for high school football. He can get the ball out quick. We've seen a Couple passes fit into some tight windows, and that time able to get it to a playmaker in space and rewarded with 7 points.
So a user update for Mountain Brook uniforms. Yates Yarborough, number 27, is the kicker for the Spartans, previously listed as number 68, but the sophomore kicker stepped in for William Russ on that kickoff previously after Mountain Brook's touchdown. Yates Yarborough, sophomore kicker for Mountain Brook.
Quite the upgrade to go from 68 to 27. Looks a little more slimming on you.
And then in our system where we don't have single digits, that's the lower numbers are often heavily sought after. So
yes,
how
I would
about
say he's basically 17.
So 17 is a
and as a sophomore, that's probably right. Marginal at that point, either 16 or turning 16. So
we've got our first live development flag on the play of the evening. That one is going to go against Pinson Valley, and we'll take what we can get, Wayne.
Yeah, you've seen the HSAA enforce this a pretty good bit when you've got a directional kicker that's not taking a 10-yard windup at it. A lot of times the cover team gets a little bit more aggressive towards the line of scrimmage on the kick, and that time they're going to back them up 5, make them do it one more time.
From
using
the
35, a little more rubberized kicker balls too that have a little more pop to them. They get a little bit higher. They don't go quite as far, but tougher to field. This time he is going to take a full swing at it.
Colvin and Archie Andrews stand about the 11-yard line, and John Colvin will take this one right up the middle. Breaks a tackle, breaks his way across near the 45, and prime field position for Mountain Brook heading into their opening drive of the second quarter.
Exceptionally well blocked there. I saw Jack Bright springing it for us a little bit there. Saw a few other members of the kick return unit. We don't form the wedge anymore. That kind of went out of style and out of the rule book, but we could still come together in a little bit more of a shield formation and get a hat on a hat. Not quite trying to bowl anybody over like the old days.
Mountain Brook sets up shop 1st and 10 from their own 45. Sam Smith, the receiver, motions to the near side, and it's going to be Archie Andrews going right on first down, no gain.
That'd be Archie's no relation older brother, Stuart Andrews.
Stuart Andrews. My mind is still on that kickoff.
Absolutely, and saw a little bit of a different wrinkle from the Pinson Valley defense there. Looked like they had one or two more defenders on the receiver side. So, but now this time when I look at it, you've got some numbers to the top with the receiving core.
2 receivers to the top of your screen. Hoffbauer looks to throw on a 2nd and 10. Surveys, rolling left, and he will tuck and run this one. Maybe picks up one, but a 3rd and long coming up for Mountain Brook.
Yeah, had 3 guys that side, really just a 2-man combination with both tight ends staying in to protect, and that time neither of them came open enough to pull the trigger, so we're going to have 3rd and 10.
Stuart Andrews, the tailback. Third and 10 for Mountain Brook, and Hoffbauer looks, throws near side, got Sam Smith. He sheds a tackle and brought down inside the 40. Big first down pickup on a 3rd and long for Mountain Brook down to the 39.
Yeah, you talk about a security blanket for a quarterback. Sam Smith able to make the grab, squeeze it right there with good defense being played. That's a great throw by Hoffbauer and a critical 3rd and 10 pickup to keep this Spartan drive alive, give the defense a little bit more time to figure out what they need to correct on their end.
Sam Smith with his 33rd reception on the season, and here's Stewart going right side on first down. He'll pick up one. Sam coming into this game tonight, Wayne, averaging 14.4 yards per carry, and he was right on target there, if not more, on the first down pickup.
Yeah, I'll tell you, William, in the run game, I'm seeing a lot of us getting a hat on a hat, and I really wonder if the bounce or the cutback is not about to hit, because I feel like pressing this a little bit further to the outside is going to create some yards, but that cutback oftentimes is where you get the long touchdowns from.
2nd and 9 from the 38. It's Stewart breaking a tackle and breaking down the middle inside the 25. Another first down pickup for the Spartans.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was seeing. Not the cutback necessarily there, but the cut up. That time the bend play. And you know, when you've got a center and a guard, and even some of our tackles able to get inside leverage and seal off some of these interior front seven guys, I mean, you're then just asking a safety or a linebacker to come in and make a tough tackle.
Timeout on the field taken by Pinson Valley. We'll take a quick break with them and be right back. Spartans driving, 14-6 ball game, 9:21 left to go in the second quarter. More football when we return.
It's a new day, Mountain Brook. New Day is proud to support this community on and off the field with clean rides for every game day and every day in between. New Day is here for a clean, new start each time. Go Spartans!
Welcome back into Pinson Valley. I'm William Galloway alongside my partner Wayne Ingram, where the Spartans are driving 1st and 10 from the Pinson Valley 23-yard line. Our production crew this evening, Jonathan Barbie, Jason Anderson, Brady Moscato, and Brooklyn Anderson, bringing us into your living room or your digital device. And a 1st and 10, Mountain Brook knocking on the Royal Automotive red zone. Field full of receivers and tailback Stuart Andrews for Mountain Brook on this first down. 15 on the play clock. Here's Hoffbauer on the keeper. Down the middle, picks up 9 and maybe 10 inside the Royal Automotive red zone.
Yeah, they're waving them on up, and I love what we're seeing right now, attacking the center of the field right here. And, you know, part of it started when I thought I saw some of the safeties respecting the outside receivers a little bit more at the beginning of this drive, and that's what's freed up the middle of the field. Looks like they've shifted, have a little bit of a cover 1, maybe cover 3 look now, adding some bodies into the box.
1st and 10, and Stewart gets the call. He's down to the 10-yard line. He'll pick up 3 to bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, the unblocked man there was the safety, and Stewart able to make him miss and take advantage and harvest some of those yards that his offensive line worked to grow for him.
You hear the Pinson Valley band to our right making some noise. The Spartan cheerleaders over on the far side trying to cheer our boys on into the end zone. Coach Easley and Coach Yeager get the play call in. Under 10 seconds to go on the play clock. 7-6-5. Hoffbauer going to have to hurry to get this one off. He does. Stewart, left side, fights his way forward inside the 5. And I'll tell you what, Wayne, he will not be denied.
Yeah, he's starting to run downhill. Don't make as many decisions about which hole to get to. Just get to one fast. And you mentioned the Spartan cheerleaders. I believe we're in shove that ball across that line territory here.
Absolutely.
With 3rd and short and the goal line not much further.
Spartan Stampede trying to shove this one into the end zone and get our second score of the night. We'll get our play call in. Plenty to go on the play clock, 7:34 to go in the second quarter. From the 4-yard line, it's Hoffbauer giving to Andrews, fights his way forward, picks up 1 or 2. I think it's enough for the first down, and Mountain Brook will have a 1st and goal from the 3.
Yeah, able to achieve it on the second effort there with Stuart Andrews. We're doing a good job of getting a hat on a hat. That time, in really the previous run, a little bit more penetration into the backfield than you would like. But when you've got a blocker, you know, engaged with that defender, they really don't have an arm for you to tackle with. And so we're able to scamper off it and bring up 1st and goal from the 3.
Spartans moving quickly here. And Hoffbauer under center, pitches out to Stewart, and nowhere to go as the wall of the Pinson Valley defense brings up a tackle for loss.
Yeah, Hoff went with the fadeaway pitch right there. Got his leg stepped on by the guard, it looked like. And we were trying to go quick and probably got a little too adorable with it. And now we've got 2nd and goal from the 5.
The fadeaway's tough, even if you're Dirk Nowitzki. But 2nd and goal from the 5 for Mountain Brook. Trio of receivers to the top of your screen. Wild Stewart, and Stewart is met back at the original line of scrimmage.
Tried to bounce it there and just didn't quite read the leverage properly on the defensive end. I thought looked like Sam Smith out there had inside leverage, and an inside cut would have been nice, but we'll see who takes the snap here.
Mountain Brook working a 3rd and goal from the Pinson Valley 5. 2 receivers to the near side. Hoff in the gun. Stuart Andrews now motions near side. Hoffbauer looks to throw. Headed for the end zone. Got a man. It's John Colvin once again. His 2nd score of the night. Wayne, we'll see if we go for 2 here.
Yeah, Pinson Valley unfortunately did the whole fall down play. And as soon as Caden was able to process that, John Colvin was standing a lone soldier in the end zone and able to receive that one for the touchdown.
5-yard touchdown. That is Colvin's 2nd touchdown of the night, 2nd touchdown of the season. And Yates Yarborough. The hold was great, the kick was great, and the snap was great as well from Patrick Cry. We went for 1. It's a 14-13 ball game with 5:36 to go in the first half.
Yeah, William, right there, I know you were talking about going for 2 with a little bit less time left in the game. You know, we still have another 2.5 quarters of action here. You might consider it, start playing scoreboard a little bit, but this early and with a sophomore kicker that needs some confidence built and reps under his belt, I like the call right there to kick the extra point. A smooth operation. And now let's see how Y squared Yates Yarborough does on this boot.
This will be his 2nd kick off of the evening. And young man I met in practice towards the beginning of the season. Yates, a great guy. He's been working really hard, and who better to learn from than William Russ and Anderson Roberts? So he has had great leadership. Obviously, special teams coordinator, coach, doing a great job all season long. That's Gabe Rodriguez, of course. And so lots of great folks to learn from, and Yates does a great job kicking this one down to the 6. It's fielded by Pinson Valley, and they will try to return it near side. Out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, escorted out right there by number 41, Gray Anderson. Tell you, one of the deeper Mountain Brook kicker rooms we've ever seen. Not sure the kickers have their own room, but in this case they do. I've compared William Russ's ability to boot it deep in the end zone to Warren Handrahan. We had a kicker that was my age in the same room, Trey Smith, who hit a lot of big field goals and extra points for the Spartans as well. Not really a power kicker, more of a finesse guy. So good to see we've got answers with Russ going down with injury tonight.
1st and 10 for Pinson Valley. The Spartan defense hungry. Billy Farrow almost brings him down in the backfield, but a pickup of 3 for the Indians.
Yeah, we're going to have to lock in on some of these tackles. We're not really doing a good, consistent job of getting our shoulder into the hip area or into the, ball carrier by that matter. And if you're trying to tackle with your hands or really just trying to get one thud in and hope they go down, you're not doing it the way we're coached up to do it. So going to change that here as this game continues.
2nd and 7. Rico Freeman using his feet, breaking 2 tackles across the 40, picks up a 1st down. That's exactly what you're talking about right there, Wayne.
Yeah, hands don't really do much for you. You got to get that shoulder in there. And, admittedly, a large part of that is being able to have an angle and the speed to get your shoulder there. But if you're dealing with a speedy back like Rico Freeman, then it's a tall task.
1st down for the Indians brings them to their own 45-yard line. Under 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Rico Freeman, pass near side, intended for number 8, R.J. Addison, incomplete.
Yeah, calling that one incomplete as it hit the turf. It was about a half a yard forward, so good call by the officiating unit. Yeah, William, they say those that can't tackle commentate, so I do recognize that as I sit up here and think about all the tackles I made, all 1.5 of them in my career, really just trying to explain the concept more than speak from experience.
Absolutely. Tons of respect for these guys and the work they put in, and I believe that was Freeman on the keeper on 2nd and 10. He gets...
That time we're going to get the dirty yellow hanky in our favor. Luke Carroll was held. And our live development friends are going to usher the ball back 10 yards.
Back it on up. There we go.
Beep, 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 beep. We'll take
some construction going on back here. What's going on behind the stadium?
It's called development, William. Development. And we'll see if we can develop the situation further.
2nd and 20 for Pinson Valley. It's a give and wrapped up by all of us.
Yeah, Miller Crumpton finds hips right there. He is consistently been one of the ones tonight that's able to hit and stick, as they say, and that time holding on as his Spartan faithful brothers join him to get the tackle, bringing up 3rd and long.
Mason Baines in at nose tackle for Mountain Brook on a 3rd and 14. Rico Freeman looks to pass, goes long over the middle, gains Drew on the coverage, and we're going to get a flag. I think they're going to call Gaines. Not sure about that one, but we'll see.
Yeah, they're going to have to call it they would have to call that a holding if it was going to be technically correct. And see what they eventually land on there. There's no automatic first downs, but 15 yards for a pass interference is going to be enough for one there. If they had called it the holding, it should have only been 10 yards and would have still been 3rd down. But pass interference is the call, deemed to be a catchable pass. And we will have to play the next one here.
Yeah, had my eyes locked in on Gaines Drew there, doing a great job in the secondary. So our green and gold sunglasses didn't allow us to see that one the way the officials saw it, but nonetheless, Pinson Valley in Spartan territory now. Rico Freeman working to the near side, and he's forced outside by Miller Lee, Will Ellis, and Mason Baines.
Good job by Luke Waldrop knowing, hey, I'm going to go make this tackle, and if he bounces outside, he's out of bounds. So use the field to your advantage. Good job by the leverage defender there, and a loss of 1 for the Indians.
Wayne, Luke Waldrop's a guy who's grown up so fast. A junior linebacker in a room full of linebackers, but he and Miller Crumpton, Skip Stewerman, all those guys really playing like veteran players. And you look up and down the roster, and a majority of those linebackers are only juniors. They've been very impressive this season and here lately in recent games. 2nd and 11. Rico Freeman hands it off to Connor, and he's brought down. Skip Stewerman, the man himself, Miller Lee, Boyd Cooper, you name it, we were there.
And Will Ellis, maybe the first to the scene. Yeah, a lot of these junior linebackers are pressed into service with the injury to Graham Smith earlier this year.
Yeah, Will Ellis,
to get
great
Graham
job.
back soon, and all that's done is kind of free up opportunities across for these juniors to get some reps and get some playing experience. And now that we're 6-7 games into the season, it's starting to pay some dividends.
3rd and 10 for Pinson Valley. Spartan defense trying to get off the field on an Iron City 3rd down opportunity. Hat tip to Will Ellis on that last play, and Rico Freeman going to use his speed. Cut back inside and pick up the first down near the 25.
Yeah, it would be one of my go-to calls on 3rd down as well. Clear everybody out and get my quarterback a chance to either throw for it or scamper for it, as he was able to there. Going to have to come out of the game for a play here, though. Not exactly sure what seems to be the matter with Rico, but we've got the backup in now, number 16, Raymond Howard.
Sophomore quarterback for Pinson Valley, and A give to the near side on 1st and 10. He's wrapped up by Miller Lee.
And Rico heading on back out there, so job well done by Raymond. Handing it back off to his senior position mate. And we've got 2nd and 6.
Spartan defense trying to learn from their mistakes and come up with a big stop, or possibly find us a little salsa here. 2nd and 6 for Pinson Valley. Rico Freeman pressured, escapes, uses his feet, and he meets Gaines Drew, who avenges himself and makes a big tackle.
Yeah, great job getting pressure and really not giving up the center rushing lane there by Skip Stewartman. Didn't quite make the tackle, but by forcing Rico to have to bounce that one, it bought some time for Gaines Drew to come up and make the play. Gaines Drew, a guy that the coaching staff would say they weren't expecting him to have a whole bunch of starting reps this year, but he has come in after the loss of McKnight injury and just performed excellent. I'm really glad to see him getting his moment as a senior.
Rico Freeman on 3rd and long goes to the end zone. 24-yard touchdown pass, and a flag comes flying in from 2 officials. We'll see how this recipe unfolds.
Yeah, it's going to be after the play no matter what. Might have been a celebration issue. Hopefully not anything on our fellas. We were a little bit late to the gun there in the secondary. And that time Rico made us pay. We'll see what the call is with $1:40 left. If we can get some help on this next kickoff and set up some field position. We have scored from longer fields with less time than that this season.
25-yard touchdown pass gives Pinson Valley a 20-13 lead. Unsportsmanlike on the offense. Touchdown remains good, so 20-13 game. This will be assessed on the kickoff.
Yep, good decision there to take it where we can potentially get the ball back and try and turn it into 3 or more.
Kick is up, and the kick is good. 21-13, Pinson Valley leading Mountain Brook tonight on Thursday Night Lights. We're glad you're with us, folks. Great high school football game going on right here.
I'll tell you what, on the penalty right there, I'm thinking it was a little bit of a ball spin situation. A lot of these guys, you know, and we can fall into it too. You watch so much high school or college and NFL football, and the rules are just so different. You know, we don't have a 2-minute timeout or a 2-minute warning here, and spinning the ball might not get you anything in the NFL. It's no longer the no fun league, but in high school football,
we're going to keep it straight-laced.
Activity considered unsportsmanlike in nature.
Yeah, Wayne, going up and down, you see Coach Gabe Rodriguez working with our special teams. We talk about our coaches and positions and all sorts of things, but from top to bottom, Chris Yeager, Shane Stearns, Brad Easley, Jason Hamlin, Richard Kelly, Buddy Pill. So you see Coach Rod back there. Jake Collins, Ethan Truitt, David Powell, Kyle Spear, Jeff Walters, Charlie Vines, Jalen Henderson, Walt Tucker, Clinton Starling, Jake Jordan, Adam Martin, and the many others who support Mountain Brook football just do a phenomenal job day in, day out. In the pregame show, we heard Coach talk about just the time and the amount of hours on weekends and nights and how much they pour into these players. You know, we can't go a week without talking about their contributions and them molding these young men in this special season. So hat tip to all of our coaches as this Vulcan Tire and Auto kickoff is fielded by Colvin at the 26, who marches towards midfield across the 50 down to the 46-yard line, and Mountain Brook in prime position with 1:33 left to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, we had to burn a timeout on the very first drive to avoid a delay game penalty, so I believe we have 2 left. 1:33 to go. And just about 45 yards to pay dirt. And we'll stampede to start it.
Colvin's return officially marked at the 45, where Mountain Brook now has 2 receivers to the near side. Hoff in the gun. He fakes the give to Stewart and pressured. He's going to roll back and out of the pocket. Pass is incomplete on 1st and 10, so clock stops, 2nd and 10, 1:25 to go in the quarter.
Yeah, it got tipped right before it got to Colvin. He was unable to make the quick adjustment, but a throw through traffic that we're fortunate to have hit the ground and not been in the arms of a Pinson Valley Indian.
2nd and 10 for Mountain Brook now. Play comes in. Clock stopped at 1:25. 3 receivers to the near side. It's Stuart Andrews on 2nd and 10. Brought down at the 41-yard line. Clock runs. And timeout taken by Mountain Brook. Medical Properties Trust timeout. So now we're down to 1 timeout, Wayne, with 1:15 left to go.
Yeah, preserve some clock right there and understand that even though it's 3rd down, I wouldn't say 4th down's out of the question, but it's really going to be contingent on positive yardage here. So an interesting play calling situation. We'll see exactly how we want to scope it up. If we want to trust Hoffbauer to take a little bit of a shot right here, or if we want to even come back to the run and try and make this a 4th and more manageable.
So a 3rd and 6 coming up for Mountain Brook. At the halftime break, we will have the Spartan band for you. Pinson Valley will then perform. We'll have some commercials from our sponsors. We'll come back with some first half analysis. We'll have Trips Trivia. We'll have in the second half our Student Athlete of the Week. Next week in athletics presented by Brassfield and Gorey. And also a look around the 6A Region 6 standings as this game has significant playoff implications. But now a 3rd and 6 from the 41. Hoffbauer throws far side intended for Trey Vinson. And that one is incomplete.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscommunication there. Wondering if that was a route where we thought we had a safety over the top and should have converted it to a curl. But in fact, we had no safety over the top and the go route should have stood. So they'll talk about it in the film room later this week. But right now, we got to lock in and try and pick up this 4th down.
We're going to go for it on 4th and 6 from the Pinson Valley 41. 3 receivers to the near side and Wallace Hunter in motion. Quick punt from Hoffbauer. This one is downed at the 33-yard line by Archie Andrews. So with 1:03 left to go in the second quarter, a quick punt call from the Spartans. Pinson Valley takes over again.
Caden probably going to want to have that one back. A 6-yard total boot. I don't hate the sentiment of it. Tell you, Vestavia used to always love them a quick punt or a quarterback punt, but now we're going to hand it back over. I believe Pinson has all 3 of their timeouts remaining, and with a $1:03 left, we're going to try and expand on the lead with the ball coming out of the half as well.
Will Ellis, John Thompson, and Boyd Cooper, the defensive front for the Spartans. Pressure from Thompson. And looking long is Freeman. It's picked off by Mac Mandel, coming near side from the 30, crosses his way back, and we are going to be back in business. Great job from the senior, Mac Mandel, coming up big with the INT and the Taco Mama turnover.
It's hard to say if this is chess or checkers here at the end of the half, but I like the way the last move went. Mac Mandel said, "King me," and takes the bunny interception all the way back about to midfield and going to give us a very similar shot as we just had, this time with only 1 timeout remaining.
Mac Mandel, the senior, we'll talk about him in a moment. Here's Hoffbauer on 1st down. Strike down the far sideline intended for Vincent. Can't quite bring it in. Great ball from Caden and a great route from Trey.
He had the right idea there. Just ran out of steam. That was almost a 45-yard throw, but then across the sideline, probably closer to a 50-yard one. And a tough throw to make in high school football in a crunch time situation. Going to bring back the 2nd down and 10.
Mac Mandel jumped on a fumble and got a recovery. I believe it was the Oxford game earlier this year. He comes up big with an interception there, and the Spartan offense trying to convert. Colvin hit quickly across the middle. Flag comes flying in, possibly an unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, just going to be unnecessary roughness right there, I believe. if they try and make this a targeting call. I'm not quite sure Colvin was struck in the head area.
Take a great look here from our replay. Great job.
Pass protection. Yeah, that one was shoulder to shoulder, and, you know, definitely a separate man from ball situation there, but we're just going to get the personal foul, unnecessary roughness, no sort of targeting or anything, and I think that's a fine call. Knowing that the ball was gone and knowing that that wasn't just a, hey, let me get this fella on the ground, that was.
Yeah, that brings us to the 37-yard line. Great job by Jason and Brady, Jonathan, and Brooklyn giving you that shot right there. First down for Hoffbauer from the 37. Pass is incomplete. Flag comes flying in from our side of the field.
Yeah, going to get a little unnecessary holding call there as we were rolling out left. I'm not telling you that it was a compensatory call, but I am telling you that it had very little to do with the play, and it was the side judge on the Pinson Valley side. And
that one assessed against the Spartans.
When you don't have instant replay, like, you know, I doubt the HSAA would ever say this happens, but they keep the games fair. And that was a 15-yard holding penalty?
Yeah, backs Mountain Brook up into their own territory to the 48-yard line.
Been enforced that far? So unless I just missed it and they called a personal foul or a hands to the face or something.
Archie Andrews' number is called, and he's inside the 40, clock running 25 seconds, but down to the original 1st and 10 marker. It'll be a 2nd and 11 here, and Hoff will quickly. Caden Hoffbauer spikes that one to stop at 2nd and 11, 18 seconds to go.
You can be off the ball really quick, but you can't be off the ball that quick. So a lot of end of half goings on right now. Yeah, I just want to be clear. I'm not trying to criticize the officiating crew at all. I actually think they're handling this situation well when you're in the high school football context and in a pressure-filled region game like this.
Yeah, Spartans.
That time getting the call right.
Spartans fighting the clock here, and calls going both ways, and Mountain Brook really just trying to punch one in. It's a 2nd down from the Pinson 33-yard line.
And you've got a timeout left. And with 18 seconds and 2nd down, really don't have to worry about, well, we're going to shift it. Somehow we're back to 1st down, which really can't happen.
I'm not one to see a 1st and 6 all that often, but from the 33, Hoffbauer pressured. Flag comes flying once again. There's 2 of them using his feet down inside the 30. It'll be enough for a 1st down, but with 8 seconds to go, 2 flags.
William, we had 1st and 10. We had the unnecessary roughness to get the 1st down. We had either a 15-yard penalty, and I missed the sign, or a 15-yard holding penalty. And then threw a pass on 1st and 25 to get back to the sticks and make it 2nd down.
That one assessed
Pinson
to
Valley
Mountain Brook.
Jumped off sides, and then somehow it became 1st and 6. Now we have another holding call, this time of the 10-yard variety. And somehow or another we have 1st and 15 with 8 seconds left.
1st and 15 from the 43, 8 seconds left. We also have a partridge and a pear tree. We have Caden in shotgun formation. Stuart Andrews stands to his right and now motions near side. Hoffbauer pressured, going to have to escape the pressure and try to go for the end zone. I tell you what, Wayne, we've seen a lot this season. What does Caden have for us here? Goes for it all. This one picked off by Pinson Valley. Spartan receiver's going to bring him down, and that will bring us to the end of the 1st half. I tell you, if there's more action, it would have to be at a higher level football game. What a busy 1st half.
A lot going on right there. Much to do about nothing in the end as the teams trade interceptions. That one wasn't anything more than a, hey, end of the clock. And really at the end of the half, you don't mind a throwaway there, but we're able to get him to the turf. And Let's get regroup, get an Uncrustable at halftime, and see what we can do about it here in this second half.
We go to the break. Spartans trail by 8, the Mountain Brook Band, when we come back. But first, a message from our sponsors and great supporters of Mountain Brook Athletics. Thanks for tuning in. Mountain Brook football continues in the second half. The Band is coming up next.
Only an hour and a half from Spartan Stadium, Lake Martin is more than just a lake. It's a century-old symbol of energy and recreation. At Russell Lands, we've always known its power. Sunrises and sunsets captivate us, and memories are made all summer. Russell Lands celebrates the lake with a community of lakefront neighborhoods, marinas, restaurants, golf, markets, and an adventure center. We're committed to honoring and preserving Lake Martin's beauty and spirit for generations to come. That's the power of the lake.
This is head football coach Chris Yeager. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for your support of our football team and the athletic department. We couldn't do what we do without you, so thank you for your support, and go Spartans.
The Mountain Brook High School Marching Band.
I will search the musical multiverse for you. Yeah. On that day. It's fine. This is not her.
I've never been the same. And you know, you will never be satisfied.
I will never be satisfied until I find her. on this day. Life ain't easy, life ain't fair. So every day that you get there, what you gonna do when the chips are down? Now, the chips are down. What you gonna do when the chips are down? Now the chips are down. I will never be satisfied until I find her. Have you ever felt like nobody? Have you ever felt forgotten, something all alone? Start to crash when you press down. Broken off the ground will be found. I will find her. I fall alone, I cannot find her.
When you're broken on the ground,
She will be found. The light is breaking, we have found her. Breaking into darkness. She is here. We are not alone. We are found.
The Mountain Brook High School marching band.
This is head football coach Chris Yeager. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for your support of our football team and the athletic department. We couldn't do what we do without you, so thank you for your support, and go Spartans.
Baptist Health is on your team. Where every play, every cheer, every moment matters. From everyday care to life's emergencies, we've got you covered. Our commitment to your care and the health of our community is at the heart of everything we do. Baptist Health. On your team, on and off the field.
Mountain Brook, we're not just your home team. We're your team for the best value guarantee. Save with a 3-year price lock. And get a free phone on any plan. Need even more ways to save? Get free satellite text messaging for all. Save 40% on top streaming services. Plus, save $15 a month when you bundle mobile and home. Score these great deals at Cellular Sales, your local Verizon authorized retailer.
Hey, I'm David Faulkner. As a graduate of Mountain Brook and as a parent of 3 students who graduated from Mountain Brook, I am proud to support Mountain Brook High School athletics. I hope you'll join me in doing the same, and I look forward to seeing you at a game. Go Spartans!
There's only one place Alabama trusts for every ride, time after time. Royal Automotive at the corner of I-65 and Highway 31 in Vestavia. 4 dealerships, unmatched selection, countless smiles. For over 50 years, your friends and neighbors have chosen Royal for every ride for generations. Royal Buick GMC, Royal Volkswagen, Volvo Cars of Vestavia Hills, and Royal Pre-Owned Automart, where I-65 meets Highway 31. RoyalAutomotive.net. For every ride, there's Royal.
Right when I toured Stanford's campus, I immediately felt the communal atmosphere and environment.
A lot of parents, they're looking for a place where their children can come, they can continue to grow in Christ, they can feel safe, and they can be encouraged and motivated.
We promise them that when they come, they're going to be surrounded by people who love them, who help them to find meaning and purpose in their life, and who really help them to flourish and become the men and women that God is calling them to be.
Out of every place that I could have gone, this was the place for me.
One might be tempted to say, "Excuse me, Mr. Grill Man, there appears to be a little extra burger on my burger." You're dang right there is.
Only an hour and a half from Spartan Stadium, Lake Martin is more than just a lake. It's a century-old symbol of energy and recreation. At Russell Lands, we've always known its power. Sunrises and sunsets captivate us, and memories are made all summer. Russell Lands celebrates the lake with a community of lakefront neighborhoods, marinas, restaurants, golf, markets, and an adventure center. We're committed to honoring and preserving Lake Martin's beauty and spirit for generations to come. That's the power of the lake.
When it comes to your car, trust matters. At Vulcan Tire and Automotive, you'll always get the best price on tires, guaranteed. Our ASE certified mechanics handle everything from oil changes to brakes with honest advice and no commission sales. And we're proud to back Mountain Brook High School athletics because we believe in supporting our community. Vulcan Tire and Automotive, VulcanTireandAuto.com.
There are no shortcuts on the road to success. It's forged by confidence, purpose, and determination. Everyone has potential. Few have the power to unlock it. The University of Alabama, where legends are made.
This is head football coach Chris Yeager. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for your support of our football team and the athletic department. We couldn't do what we do without you, so thank you for your support, and go Spartans. This is head football coach Chris Yeager. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for your support of our football team and the athletic department. We couldn't do what we do without you, so thank you for your support, and go Spartans.
Baptist Health is on your team. Where every play, every cheer, every moment matters. From everyday care to life's emergencies, we've got you covered. Our commitment to your care and the health of our community is at the heart of everything we do. Baptist Health, on your team, on and off the field.
Mountain Brook, we're not just your home team. We're your team for the best value guarantee. Save with a 3-year price lock. And get a free phone on any plan. Need even more ways to save? Get free satellite text messaging for all. Save 40% on top streaming services. Plus, save $15 a month when you bundle mobile and home. Score these great deals at Cellular Sales, your local Verizon authorized retailer.
Hey, I'm David Faulkner. As a graduate of Mountain Brook and as a parent of 3 students who graduated from Mountain Brook, I am proud to support Mountain Brook High School athletics. I hope you'll join me in doing the same, and I look forward to seeing you at a game. Go Spartans!
There's only one place Alabama trusts for every ride time after time. Royal Automotive at the corner of I-65 and Highway 31 in Vestavia. 4 dealerships, unmatched selection, countless smiles. For over 50 years, your friends and neighbors have chosen Royal for every ride for generations. Royal Buick GMC, Royal Volkswagen, Volvo Cars of Vestavia Hills, and Royal Pre-Owned Automart, where I-65 meets Highway 31. RoyalAutomotive.net. For every ride, there's Royal.
Right when I toured Stanford's campus, I immediately felt a communal atmosphere and environment.
A lot of parents, they're looking for a place where their children can come, they can continue to grow in Christ, they can feel safe, and they can be encouraged and motivated.
We promise them that when they come, they're going to be surrounded by people who love them, who help them to find meaning and purpose in their life, and who really help them to flourish and become the men and women that God is calling them to be.
Out of every place that I could have gone, this was the place for me.
One might be tempted to say, "Excuse me, Mr. Grill Man, there appears to be a little extra burger on my burger." You're dang right there is.
Only an hour and a half from Spartan Stadium, Lake Martin is more than just a lake. It's a century-old symbol of energy and recreation. At Russell Lands, we've always known its power. Sunrises and sunsets captivate us, and memories are made all summer. Russell Lands celebrates the lake with a community of lakefront neighborhoods, marinas, restaurants, golf, markets, and an adventure center. We're committed to honoring and preserving Lake Martin's beauty and spirit for generations to come. That's the power of the lake.
When it comes to your car, trust matters. At Vulcan Tire and Automotive, you'll always get the best price on tires, guaranteed. Our ASE certified mechanics handle everything from oil changes to brakes with honest advice and no commission sales. And we're proud to back Mountain Brook High School athletics because we believe in supporting our community. Vulcan Tire and Automotive, vulcantireandauto.com.
There are no shortcuts on the road to success. It's forged by confidence, purpose, and determination. Everyone has potential. Few have the power to unlock it. The University of Alabama, where legends are made.
This is head football coach Chris Yeager. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for your support of our football team and the athletic department. We couldn't do what we do without you, so thank you for your support, and go Spartans.
Welcome back to Pinson Valley High School. I'm William Galloway alongside Wayne Ingram. Mountain Brook taking on the Indians in a 6A Region 6 matchup, and we are halfway home. The Spartans trail by 8, and Wayne, we've got ourselves a little bit of work to do, but that's nothing new to this program and what we've seen this season.
Yeah, our back was against the wall coming into tonight, and that has not changed. In fact, it's 8 points more up against the wall. And this really, you got to see the team respond right now. There was a lot of hard conversations going on in the locker room at halftime amongst the players, amongst the coaches. They know how much this game means. Pinson Valley knows how much this game means. And we got to go out and earn it in the second half. Unfortunately, we'll be booting it away to start out.
Yates Yarborough, the sophomore kicker who stepped up tonight, is going to have a directional kick inside the 30. Looks like that'll be a fair catch, and Pinson offense will take the field. Let's take a quick look at those 6A Region 6 standings that we talked about, every game being a must-win, but Mountain Brook currently on the outside looking in that 5 spot. You see the neon highlights. You got 4 teams clinching a spot out of the region, but there are 3 full weeks of football. Mountain Brook will have 2 games in the remainder of October.
And, William, you got to look at the loss column, not the wins. Mountain Brook with 2 losses, same as Pell City. If we lose here tonight, that's 3. Pinson Valley only has 2 more games after that. Oxford only has 2 more games after that. And we lost to Pell City already, so we have got to get the win or need a lot of chaos in the region.
Our defensive boys come out firing, ready to go on first down for the Indians. And thank you, Jonathan Barbie, for getting that look. Later this quarter, we'll take a look at what's next week in athletics. We'll tell you about our student-athlete of the week, and also got a good Pinson Valley-related trips trivia question for you we will find at an appropriate time. But you heard from all of our sponsors at the break. We appreciate their support, and we appreciate everybody taking in Mountain Brook football with us on this Thursday night edition of Mountain Brook football on NFHS Network and SpartanTV.live. 2nd and 8 for Pinson Valley, and a little misdirection and a cut back to the Spartans side.
Great tackle.
Good pickup for Pinson. Great tackle from Mountain Brook.
LG Williams and Skip Stewerman with the combination effort. Really was LG staying at home, being patient, and, man, he had a tough role right there to try and trap the ball back towards the inside of the field where he had some help. Great job by Luke Waldrop applying the initial pressure and forcing the cutback. But
TJ Calhoun, the ball carrier for Pinson Valley, now a 1st and 10 from their own 36. It's Calhoun again. Breaks a tackle and a flag comes flying. Miller Crumpton applies the initial hit on the stop, and all of the Spartans follow suit.
I tell you what, it was a tough tackle to make, and probably for reasons against our control. Looks like we're going to get a holding call to back up the Indian offensive attack. And that indeed we are.
Our official confirms your suspicion, Wayne, and that is why we've got you up here as my literal right-hand man tonight.
Absolutely. That was a, I'm very officiating focused. It's a tough job.
So a 1st and 20 from their own 29. Pinson Valley.
Great response there by the Spartans.
The Spartans look like a swarm of 300 defenders.
A similar play to that was 7 points for Pinson Valley in the first half. I'm a officiating aficionado, love studying the craft. I think they have a really tough job. The holding flag there looked a little bit more abracadabra hanky than it was like a true marker. I love just the little individual flair they each bring to it. And that time helpful because it brings up 2nd and long.
Skip Stewerman and Miller Crumpton were in on that tackle.
Great
and a
tackle.
Keeper from Freeman. He meets the Spartans again, and the defense is flying around everywhere.
Yeah, Luke Waldrop making his presence known this game. He has been asked to be the predominant read man on a lot of these plays. And that time, he reads it like a textbook. Slips down to the ankle, able to control Rico Freeman and bring up 3rd and money. Spartans going to need one here.
3rd and 10. Miller Lee showing blitz. Miller Crumpton brings the house. Lee with the pressure. Freeman throws across the middle, got a wide open man, and he breaks across the 50 for a first down, brought down by Stewerman in Spartan territory.
Well, we went for the big shot right there. Basically 0 coverage. Maybe had Mac Mandel over the top of it, but went for the sack, unable to get it. And Rico Freeman doing a great job selling his feet down and delivering a ball over the middle for the first down.
Into Mountain Brook territory to the 48. It's a 1st and 10. Freeman fakes a give, and he's going to keep it going. Spartan sideline. He meets Luke Waldrop on the far hash.
And Luke Waldrop, everybody, we will know him well. The junior linebacker for the Mountain Brook football Spartans.
Rico Freeman picks up 2 on the quarterback keeper. 2nd and 8 from the 46. Mayor Teague in at nose. Boyd Cooper and Billy Farrow running tackle.
Really getting aggressive right now, especially with number 11, Miller Lee, and the way we're using him. Kind of abandoning the middle of the field in effort to attack this run game.
And Freeman evades a tackle and forced out of bounds on the Spartan boundary. No gain. It'll be 3rd and long.
Great job running down from the secondary there. Gaines Drew, LG Williams.
LG's been playing phenomenally for the Spartans this season, had some big tackles and using his ability to force out of bounds there. And now we've got a 3rd and 8.
It'll be interesting. We took the approach of crowding the box on the last 3rd and long.
Linebackers stay home now. Rico Freeman wants it all on the near side. Got a man complete to the 15. From the 46, it's another touchdown score. This one is brought in by Caden Edwards, the senior, and Pinson stretches their lead on their first possession in the 3rd quarter.
Well, and the deep pass plays have just been killers for us. A couple misreads by the secondary. You know, it's so tough when you know you've got explosive receivers to cover, not to kind of mug up to the ball and crowd it up. And we've had a couple times where we were caught flat-footed, let a receiver behind us, and unfortunately, that 8-point deficit is going to become 15.
28-13 is the score now. Pinson, the home Indians, leading the Spartans.
Yeah, we got the wrong fight song blaring. I mean, still 20 minutes of football left. You're not hitting the panic button, but you definitely, if you're the Spartan defense, you have got to quit giving up the deep shot. And, you know, really just kind of making it easy on this Pinson Valley offense. I mean, the times we've had to, you know, stand in there and get to 3rd down and fight our guts out just to see a ball flipped and deposited 20, 40 yards downfield have just been backbreakers. And it's okay to break, but you can't stay broke. So you got to keep fighting back into this ball game, and a big special teams return would certainly lift the spirits on the Mountain Brook sideline right now.
Pinson Valley will kick this one left to right. John Colvin and Archie Andrews deep to receive for Mountain Brook. We've seen some directional kicks all night from the Indians. And this one is kicked deep. It'll be taken by Archie from the 14. Andrews, the junior, finds his way out to the 35-yard line, and the Mountain Brook offense will take over. We'll tell you real quickly about our student athlete of the week before the offense makes their way back onto the field. Congratulations to this week's student athlete of the week, Sam Settle, a volleyball player. She's a middle blocker for the Spartans, and she has a 3.7 GPA. The Mountain Brook volleyball team will host the area tournament on Tuesday. They're having a great season and trying to make another October playoff push. Congratulations, Samantha Settle, and good luck to the Spartan volleyball team. Spartan offense, 1st and 10 from their own 35. Stuart Andrews picks up one on the keeper on the right side.
Would you say Sam Settle is a setter for the Spartans?
Middle blocker, but
perhaps
also provides sets.
You know, if I took my notes well enough in PE class growing up, I remember volleyball, it was bump, set, spike.
Yep.
And definitely didn't have the skill set for that sport, much like the rest of them.
Here's Hoffbauer on a 2nd and 9. Over the middle, intended for Sam Smith, a touch high. It'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, I was trying to summon our other alliterative Sam Smith for the Spartans, and Caden Hoffbauer thinking the same thing, but that time a little bit too much adrenaline coursing through the veins, and it sails high. Brings up 3rd and 9.
You know, my sister was a volleyball player back in the day. Didn't go all the way through high school, but Ann Galloway Rector taught me everything I know about volleyball, which is minimal, but spent many a day as a Mountain Brook youth traveling the gyms of middle school volleyball.
Now a history teacher at the junior high.
And Hoffbauer working on a 3rd and 9. Intended for Sam Smith. Sam has hands on his back and not able to bring that one in from the pressure of the Indians. No hankies on the field. That'll bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, tough time to go 3 and out right there. And I am really not aware of anything here, but I do think at some point you have to consider some trickeration either on the offensive side or even on the special teams front. to see if you can just spark this team to some points.
Yates Yarborough sends this one high. Great punt from the sophomore. And what a roll from Yates Yarborough. Flips the field down at the 2-yard line by the Spartans. Hat tip to you, Double Y. What a punt.
I hate myself for suggesting the fake punt after that one. That is a, critical play right there from the young sophomore, pressed into duty. An alliterative man, Yates Yarborough, putting it on the line there, forcing a really tough fair catch that was missed, that developed into a pin 'em deep situation. And that's got to give this Spartan defense a little bit of spark, a little bit of hope to say a couple negative plays here, or even just a stop, is going to set up this Spartan offense sitting pretty.
Yates Yarborough sends that one all the way down to the 1-yard line. Great job by the sophomore. Rico Freeman wants it all again. Testing Hayes Wendell. Incomplete, and a flag comes in on that. And if there weren't one on Sam Smith prior, which there was not, I'd have questions. So, Wayne, I have a question for you.
The question was, did the flag come out before the ball even got there? Because I think that was just the textbook, the head never turned. So I guess we have to throw
Back
it,
to the
but
basics
there was no contact. The receiver was able to elevate in the air. The ball hit him just about in the chest. He had plenty of time to catch it, and he simply did not. But, 15 yards anyways.
We'll take another look here. Great job from Jason and Brooklyn.
I'd be happy to be wrong, but, that's just not
just
not an egregious penalty right there, and really minimal contact.
That brings the ball out to the 17-yard line after a 15-yard penalty, and Gaines Drew wraps up on the tackle along with his fellow Spartans. Short pickup for the Indians.
Yep, great work there. I think by number 99, the junior Mason Baines kind of had the edge defender role in that one. Wasn't quite set, but able to force the ball outside, and Gaines Drew with cleanup duty.
Yeah, Wayne, I see Graydon Griffin in there as well, and the Spartan defensive front just going ball on the turf. Spartan defensive front moving by assignment tonight, and the Indians jump back on that one to bring up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, honestly, Rico fumbled that thing forward directly into his running back's arms after trying to pull the ball, and that is a heads-up play by Pinson Valley to recover deep in their own territory.
3rd and
Late
9.
blitz.
Pressure from Crumpton. Rico using his speed. Looks long again. Got a man on the near side. Incredible catch inside the 45
Got a catch,
from number
but they had
17,
a lineman,
Maurice Allen.
Yeah, lineman downfield. That time, Miller Crumpton on the blitz. And I think one of the linemen for the Pinson Valley Indians thought that they were sacked and they were going into scramble mode. Went ahead and started to approach the Spartan secondary, and it should be a 5-yard penalty.
The flag giveth and the flag taketh away.
And somehow we've clicked over to 1st down, which is not the case. It was 3rd down. We've had some issues with the down and distance tonight. We should be accepting this penalty.
3rd and 14.
And it should be about 3rd and 14. Doesn't carry a loss of down with it. So we're going to try and get it straight, and we do. So now it's a big 3rd down.
3rd and 14 from the 14-yard line. Rico Freeman going long again to the Mountain Brook sideline. Pass is incomplete. LG Williams on the coverage, but the Pinson Valley player simply couldn't bring it in. Great job from LG applying the footsteps, and a 4th and long for the Indians.
Yeah, brought the same exact pressure that time. Miller Crumpton at the bottom of your screen, the far left of your screen on this angle. That time Pinson able to pick it up, but a nice, looked like deep cover 3 right there, maybe some cover 8. We'll have to explain cover 8 to Willie G here at some point in the season.
I think that's the.
But we'll require a chalkboard.
That's the triangle button on my PlayStation.
Sure.
Wind picking up here at Pinson Valley. Punter standing from his own end zone. This one goes high, but not as long as they'd like. High bounce. This Mountain Brook will take over inside the 30, right about the 26-yard line, and optimal for the Spartans.
And of all the seniors on the field, of all the upperclassmen that have been waiting their turn, it is Yates Yarbrough, the young sophomore, who's making his presence known in this third quarter with the deep punt, pinning back the Pinson Valley offense. And after a poor punt, the Spartans take over in plus territory.
1st and 10 from the Pinson Valley 26.
Go, Caden.
Caden Hoffbauer uses his feet, rolls left, and breaks a tackle, knocked out of bounds at the 15. 2-3 flags come flying, and a host of Spartans come to protect their quarterback on the sideline.
Yeah, a little bit of a quarterback privilege right there. Even though he's become a runner, if you do anything extra right there on the sideline, you're going to get the whistle, and that time the extra shove a little bit late should get us half the distance, which would bring us to about the 6-yard line, 7-yard line.
We know we're inside the Royal Automotive red zone. That live development flag on the play, New Day Car Wash flag, brings us towards the goal line in the Royal Automotive red zone, down to the 8.
Might have messed up the 50% concept there. I was hoping for a 6 or 7 yard line there.
I know the
Shout
kids
out to my third graders who have taught me the concept.
The kids
of 6,
at home
7.
are loving that one. 1st and goal for the Spartans from the 8. 5.5 minutes to go in this third frame. It's Sam Smith, the tailback, who is taken down for a loss of 2 on 1st and goal.
Yeah, I've been waiting to see Sam get some carries here. That one his first that I recall in the game, and he really had some pop last week, especially in the second half of what was all in all a forgettable contest against Clay Chalkville, but that time unable to spring free. Still first down by the yardage marker, but we know it's second in our hearts.
Yeah, 2nd and goal from the 10. Stuart Andrews, the tailback, and he's getting this one going right side, trying to find the edge. Cuts across inside the 5, picks up 6 yards, and brings up a 3rd and goal.
Great job, get to the hole quick. Cutting the yardage in half one more time, and it's 3rd down and 4. But given the scoreboard and the situation and the season,
4 down territory.
I'll be darned if it's not 4 down territory.
Spartan stampede formation. 3rd and goal from the 4.
See what we do. We've liked Stewart. And
Stuart Andrews, the tailback, stands behind Hoffbauer, and he gets this one going right side, trying to follow the convoy. This one only picks up maybe 1 on 4th down coming up.
And stop me if you've heard this before, but it's a do-or-die situation for the Mountain Brook offense. No automatic first downs in Alabama high school football. So a penalty can move it half the distance, but it can't turn back the downs. So we got to get in this end zone right now.
Caden Hoffbauer stands, Sam Smith in motion. Back to the near side, Hoffbauer. Rolling near side. He's going to have to tuck it, and he's headed for the end zone. Can we propel him in there? Not quite. A stop from Pinson Valley, but all things considered, Wayne, they're backed up to their own 3-yard line, and the defense comes out quickly, ready to answer the bell.
Yeah, and that's in the calculus of all of it when you decide to go for it. That time we're rolling to the left against Caden's natural throwing motion, and a great play. I believe that was number 3, Roland Riley, by the Indians to come up and make the stop on the bigger-bodied Caden Hoffbauer. I don't think we would accuse any of our players of being elite in the physical stature category necessarily, but a stuff nonetheless.
1st and 10 from the 3. May I introduce you to the Spartan defense, Pinson Valley.
Well, and it's Will Ellis, who has had probably one of the better last 3 or 4 game stretches of anyone on this Spartan football team. He has been a monster of the midway of the Spartan defense, and I'm excited to watch him continue to grow and progress. You know, he's just a junior in there playing in the trenches for the Spartans, and he is a member of the Nines Club.
Wayne, he's one of those guys who, as you say, was not a returning starter, and you look at a lot of other names on the defensive side of the ball who came back as starters who we had, you know, kind of an expectation of their ability and what they would bring to the field. But I would say Will Ellis has been one of the biggest surprises this year in terms of maybe a little bit under the radar, and now has ascended to everybody's radar. And here we are in Game 8 for Mountain Brook, and he is just playing tremendous football.
You know, William, I coached that grade for 3 years rather. And you knew names like Luke Waldrop. You knew names like Skip Stewerman, mainly because he was on my team. And a handful of others, but Will Ellis was not one that really popped out to me, but he has had a breakout year.
2nd and 9 for Pinson Valley. Rico Freeman going deep once again, testing Hayes Wendell. Incomplete, ruled on the near sideline. The official has the spot. Hayes Wendell credited on the stop, and it'll be 3rd and 9 for Pinson Valley coming up.
Yep, or if you're the down marker keeper, it's 1st down somehow again. Listen, I mean, Hayes Wendell's been really in perfect position most of the time tonight, and unfortunate with the flag calls on a couple of them, but that time the only catch was going to be an out-of-bounds catch, and the foot came down in the white. So it's going to bring up 3rd and long. Pinson Valley backed up. They're not really thinking about it based on their protection, but I'll tell you who's going to be thinking about it for a little bit is our good friend Boyd Cooper, who unfortunately got a little head start right there. Just barely breaking the plane, but in high school football in Alabama, if you go all the way past the line at any point, it's a 5-yarder.
So a 3rd and 3 now for Pinson Valley.
Great play.
Rico Freeman
Miller
on the
Lee.
keeper, and Miller Lee. Wow, look at Freeman trying to continue the run, but Miller Lee holds him up, and the Spartan defense comes to swarm for the stop.
If I had to tell you who made that play, it was Miller Lee, Boyd Cooper, Will Ellis, John Thompson, Billy Farrow, Hayes Wendell, Skip Stewerman, Miller Crumpton. I'm literally just reading the depth chart at this point, because just about every Spartan defender got a piece of
Rico
Freeman. And I'll tell you what, if it's going to take any of us, it's going to take all of us, and we're going to need every last one, from a sophomore place kicker to a senior quarterback and running back duo to everything in between.
Looks like we've got a timeout on the field taken by Pinson Valley. A 4th down coming up. Medical Properties Trust timeout. Wayne, let's take a look at what is next week in athletics. We talked about Samantha Settle, our Student Athlete of the Week, and she's on the volleyball team. The volleyball team is hosting the area tournament on Tuesday of next week, and JV and 9th grade football. Some of these guys dressed out tonight, getting their experience, going to play Hewitt at home in Spartan Stadium on Monday. Homecoming parade taking place. Hey, check this out. This year, this is on Thursday, the homecoming parade at 3 o'clock in Crestline Village. We hope you'll be there. Football homecoming, we're back at home against Huffman next week. Cross country in action at the Hewitt Husky Challenge. Swim and dive having a great fall. Flag football is at Oak Mountain next week, so a busy week for the Mountain Brook Athletic Department. And homecoming is always a busy time. Also got to give a nod to Bucky McMillan making his return home for SEC Basketball Media Days next Wednesday. That'll take place at the Grand Bohemian.
Yeah, it would be it'd be like Coach Yeager getting the Mississippi State job for a lot of us if you put yourself in the former players of Bucky McMillan's shoes. It is a exciting basketball season ahead of us to see how Bucky ball translates to the Southeastern Conference.
John Colvin, fair catch inside the 30. Mountain Brook will take over. 1st and 10 from the Pinson Valley 29.
And, you know, William, we want to score quickly, obviously, but I don't think that necessarily means we got to take it to the air. I've liked the way we've run the ball really all night. We haven't had the explosive ones that break free for long touchdowns, but if we're able to understand we've got 29 yards to go and a full quarter ahead of us after this 2 minutes and 11 seconds of the third, running the ball has to be your friend. You don't have to abandon it yet. Welcome it back in. I'm wondering if we fired the down marker guy. And listen, you never want to talk about another man's job.
It may be the equipment he's working with.
It seems, much like many of us that switch to a digital clock or an iPhone alarm, that we're going back to analog a little bit here. The good old dial it down is back. And, if we don't even have a poll for it, I think the down marker guy is just going to hold it. This
falls in the other duties as assigned category for that gentleman from Pinson Valley. We appreciate his hard work tonight, and Pinson Valley for hosting us, being great hosts, giving us this vantage point for our broadcast booth. And here's a 1st and 10 for Mountain Brook. Stuart Andrews marches forward for the first down inside the Royal Automotive red zone. First down, Spartans, and that's exactly what you want if you're Brad Easley and Chris Yeager.
Yeah, we are going to make it easy on the down and distance guy. He can just keep that one up. 11-yard scamper. Spartans getting in the rhythm here.
Stuart Andrews motions to the right of Hoffbauer, who takes the snap. And Hoff is going to keep it, go in the middle, and make his way around left side.
Come on!
Dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans. Caden Hoffbauer does what he does best, uses his feet, and finds the end zone.
Well, and that's exactly what I meant by don't worry about trying to force the ball through the air. Those are 2 rushes, a grand total of 30 seconds bled off the clock. And we are going to kick an extra point here to try and close this gap back to 8 puntos, make it a 1-score game.
Hoffbauer goes over 15 yards to find the score, and Yates Yarborough puts it through the uprights. We've got ourselves a 28-19 ball game. Patrick Cry on the snap, Sam Smith on the hold, and the Spartans take their medicine just what the doctor ordered.
And that goes down as an impact hold there by Sam Smith. Really a pretty good snap, but he just barely missed the kicking tee on his initial attempt to hold. He's able to get it back down. And a great job by Yates, not panicking, trusting the senior holder and booting it through.
Our band is fired up, and Wayne with a rushing touchdown at Pinson Valley. That brings me to the Trips trivia question tonight regarding the Pinson Valley Indians. Who holds the Mountain Brook High School record for most touchdowns in a playoff game? Hint, it took place on this field just a couple of years ago.
Wow, a couple of years ago in Pinson Valley. Pinson Valley a couple of years ago, I say that, it's 2025 now, but they were winning state titles with Bo Nix. Yes, he was in high school at one point, and it was here. But you're telling me it was probably after that time.
Yates Yarborough delivers that one, and Pinson Valley out of bounds around the 36-yard line.
Yeah, great stick there by number 46, Brett Turnbull. Another stalwart of the rec league football ranks that's now made his way up to varsity reps. So, William, I'm going to take a wild stab and say probably the best football player we have had wearing a chrome gold Spartan dome. Cole Gamble would have been the touchdown leader in the playoffs.
That is correct. And how many touchdowns did he have, Wayne? We're adding a 1B question to this as Mac Mandel in the Spartan defense, Luke Waldrop.
I'm going to fear the thumb and say he got 5.
5 plus 1.
Wow.
6 touchdowns in 2022 against Pinson Valley in the first round of the playoffs. Mountain Brook went on to win that one 49-7 en route to a state championship appearance against Saraland. My dad and I came to that one I was working the sideline, and it was a cold November night. But Cole Gamble was on fire with 6 touchdowns. So here's a second down pass to the near side, and breaking a tackle is Maurice Allen, the senior wide receiver.
Well, for those that are quick with their times tables, like I try and be. 6 times 6 is 36. That's a whole lot of points for number 19 for the Spartans.
He was quite the showman tailback for Mountain Brook, and has had some great guys following his footsteps, and Stuart Andrews in the room of running backs, Lawson McKnight, and Mountain Brook defense now trying to work. Hello, Hayes Wendell. Hello, Gaines Drew.
Yeah, we've done a really good job, particularly in the second half, but really the whole game, of bottling up the quarterback runs. Rico Freeman not having a ton of room to negotiate there. He's just really hurt us through the air more than anything, and if the Spartans can apply the clamps for a couple more downs and get this football back, we should have ample time to get at least tied and then hopefully ahead.
This will run us to the end of the third quarter. Spartans trail 28-20. We're headed to the final frame, and we'll hear a quick message from our sponsors and be back for the fourth quarter. This is Mountain Brook Football on the NFHS Network and SpartanTV.live.
Hey, I'm David Faulkner. As a graduate of Mountain Brook and as a parent of 3 students who graduated from Mountain Brook, I am proud to support Mountain Brook High School athletics. I hope you'll join me in doing the same, and I look forward to seeing you at a game. Go Spartans!
Mountain Brook, we're not just your home team. We're your team for the best value guarantee. Save with a 3-year price lock. And get a free phone on any plan. Need even more ways to save? Get free satellite text messaging for all. Save 40% on top streaming services. Plus, save $15 a month when you bundle mobile and home. Score these great deals at Cellular Sales, your local Verizon authorized retailer.
Spartan cheerleaders getting everybody fired up and ready on that Mountain Brook sideline. There's a shot from Brady Moscato, and we are ready for the fourth quarter of action. I'm William Galloway alongside my partner Wayne Ingram. Spartans trail by 8. 6A Region 6 playoff spot looming in the distance. Both teams have their eye on it, and Pinson Valley has it at midfield to start this fourth quarter.
And the umpire had to march a whole 2 yards, place it from 149 to the other. And I'll tell you, other than the traded end of half interceptions, the turnover bug is not bitten. And we sure would love to have it here. But first, we are going to have more fun with chains. I think we're either working on the dial-a-down or, yeah, that's what we're doing. We are about 15 yards left of the cymbals in the Pinson Valley Band. And so not only are we fortunate enough to be in your living room on this Friday night, but you are fortunate enough to have the Pinson Valley cymbals and the band along with your viewing experience. So a little added bonus. A dense brass section of the Indian marching band.
As we continue to get our chain set, if you were in the marching band, what instrument might you play? There's Tripp's trivia, there's Williams trivia, a little more personal.
This is the stuff that really keeps you up at night. Probably most qualified to be cymbals, but also would love to just be the big bass drum. Just kind of keep the basic rhythm, good counterbalance. I feel like I've got, probably the stature and stoutness to hoist it up. And the folks back here look like they're having a great time with it. A nice Yamaha. Pretty fresh instruments overall, and that's your color commentary on marching band equipment.
Your CWI musical report from Wayne Ingram. And now we've got football. Pinson Valley, 2nd and 9 from the 49. A pass out to the near side. And Pinson Valley using their speed, but not quick enough for Mountain Brook's Hayes Wendell.
And Mountain Brook almost always getting someone in the backfield to get in the face of Rico Freeman, but he has done a good job of settling his feet and getting the ball out to his playmakers. That time a gain of about 4.
Maurice Allen, the receiver for Pinson Valley. So a third.
They thought about bringing an extra lineman on the field, opt against that. They've got their big physical receiver, tight end, H-back number 17 at the bottom.
Baines, Cooper, and Ellis get their assignments, and the Spartan defense trying to stick a Miller-Lee, but it is going to be just enough for a first down to the 40-yard line, and Pinson will move the sticks.
Yeah, so they'll get the first down yardage there. Good kind of a curl route combo across the board, allowing Rico just to find the most separated defender and deliver the ball for the first down.
1st and 10 from the Mountain Brook 40. And the give to T.J. Calhoun.
Yep, another great effort by Miller, Crumpton, and Gaines Drew. On the stop for the Spartans, minimal gain there, maybe even a slight loss.
No pickup, so it'll be a 2nd and 10 with 10:37 to go in this final quarter.
Well, I tell you, Will Ellis picked off the pulling tackle, I believe. Looked like a T insert. Nah, that was the guard. So it was like a little bit of a guard pull power type gap scheme there that they were going for. And Will Ellis blowing it up, allowing the linebackers to run free.
Spartans showing pressure, and they bring it. Rico Freeman uses his speed to get to the outside, and he meets Stewerman and Gaines Drew on the edge.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just didn't quite contain that edge. We had great pressure from the inside. A run blitz there by the Spartans.
Wayne, Pinson Valley.
Miscommunication of who had that perimeter, and another first down for the Indians.
Pinson Valley using, they just have a total weapon in Rico Freeman. His ability to read that blitz, tuck it and run, go on the right side, use his speed to seal the edge. Great job there from the Indians' senior quarterback, and they're in the Spartan 30 now for a 1st and 10. The give and nowhere to go for T.J. Calhoun.
Well, I'm about to add Will Ellis to the Christmas list. He has just controlled the inside. We've got a long history of talented interior defensive linemen in the Mountain Brook football lore. And he is well on his way to achieving and hopefully surpassing those likes.
No lumps of coal for the junior defensive lineman. Pass to the near side out in the flat. Spartan defenders trying to get to the man on the edge. It's Calhoun's number called again. I think we may have a holding flag coming in here.
Yeah, likely a hold. Hayes and Luke did an excellent job. Luke Waldrop, that is, and Hayes Wendell, that is, of stringing it along. Trusting your guys on the inside to make that tackle. The back initially, and that's number 7, T.J. Calhoun, wanted to take it inside, but if we had bit hard enough on it, he could have gotten back to that edge and scored. So great job by those guys, drawing the penalty for the out and one as well.
Mayor Teague into the lineup for Will Ellis. The holding backs up the Indians to the Spartan 37-yard line. Mason Baines in for Billy Farrow. L.G. Williams, the DB at the top of your screen. Hayes Wendell to the near side. Mac Mandel and Gaines Drew working the secondary. 8:51 to go in this fourth quarter. 2nd and long for the Indians. Rico trying to use his legs again, and he is tripped up by Boyd Cooper, and looks like Boyd's cramping right around the 32-yard line.
Yeah, kind of an awkward play right there. Trying to work his way down the field to chase down the speedy Freeman.
Mayor T comes and pancakes him on top, but you see Boyd immediately there just reach and grab that right leg.
Yeah, and you love to see an immediate effort being made by the training staff to stretch it out and not evaluate for injury. Yeah, we've talked about some of my famous cramps that never happen on the field, but usually happen around 3 or 4 a.m. if I haven't had my electrolytes. They are not fun.
As they attend Boyd, we'll take a quick commercial break and be right back to Pinson Valley after this. Spartans trail by 8, 8:34 left to go in this 6A Region 6 game. Boyd Cooper walks off under the assistance of the training staff and a lot of his own power, and now a 3rd and 8 for the Indians from the Spartan 28-yard line. Rico Freeman on the keeper, evades the tackle, but does not evade Miller Lee.
Yeah, Miller Spike Lee with the picturesque tackle right there. That's a huge play.
Loss of 1 on the play, tackle for loss for Miller. That brings up a 4th and 9. We are either going to see a quick punt here or Pinson Valley trying to stick it to the Spartans.
Yeah, probably not real much of an incentive to go for anything else.
Freeman using his legs. Escapes the pressure, knocked out of bounds inside the 20. This one is going to be close. Yep,
yeah,
officials mark it off to the 18-yard line, and that'll move the sticks.
And that's a massive pickup for the Indians. They'll be able to chew about 2 more minutes of game clock, and obviously closer to pay dirt. Unsure of their kicking situation, though the extra points tonight have been solid, and we're close down to that range at this point, where you would think they could go for a 3-pointer to make it a 2-score game, should it come to that.
Rico on the give to Calhoun on 1st down. He is met by the wall of Spartans.
Yeah, Miller Crumpton, Gaines Drew. Sound familiar? It should be. And it is truly just a matter of making them snap it a few more times, hoping for a mistake. But ultimately, you can't rely on that. You've just got to shut down the plays they're trying to run, keep them down to minimal gain, and hope you can give your offense the ball back with a chance here.
2nd and 9 inside the red zone. Rico Freeman meets the Spartan defense again. It'll be a 3rd and 6 from the 15-yard line.
Yeah, Mason Baines tripped him up, and Mac Mandel, another alliterative Spartan, able to clamber down, make the stop. Yeah, he might have just gotten the cleanup effort there. That was actually Billy Farrow and Miller Lee making the tackle. But Mac with a good product placement.
Yeah, Miller and Mac, or Mac Miller, if you're a fan of the music industry.
R.I.P.
3rd and 6. Freeman out in the flat on the far side. Cuts back inside. Mandel with a hand
what a
on
tackle.
him. But the Spartans come up, and Indians are short of the line to gain thanks to Mason Baines on the outside, sealing the deal along with Miller Lee.
Way to work, and this is going to be 4th and short. A field goal puts them up 11. But they are leaving the offense on the field. Better watch this football. 5 yards gives them the first.
4th and 2 from the 10.5-yard line.
Jumped but not off sides. So they're going to try and make us jump one more time. They're going to snap it.
And Freeman is brought down by the Spartans in the backfield. A 4th down stop for this Mountain Brook defense when we needed it most.
Well, large in a massive way. Huge for the team, big for the boys in the Guardian caps.
Let's take a
We've done such
here.
a good job. We've been bringing 4 or 5.
Miller
really most
Lee.
of the second half just to contain Rico Freeman. And that time we contain him.
Miller Lee with the
all
stick,
the way to the ground.
And he turns into Mayor Teague, who hammers down the gavel and says, "Not in my city." 1st down for Mountain Brook from the 14. Here's Stewart on Hoffbauer on the keeper. Great deception from the Spartan offense. Hoffbauer uses his feet and picks up the first.
You got to keep your eyes in there. I think Caden has really started to key in on the linebacking core of this Pinson Valley team. And he's made some really, really good decisions in the run game with the quick score at the end of the 3rd quarter and picking up right where he left off on this drive. A pirouette by Stuart Andrews in the backfield.
Spartans are working from their own 29. Hoffbauer on the keeper going left side. Similar play out of bounds around the 36-yard line. And Wayne, we do have an amendment to our trivia question courtesy of Robert Gamble. We're getting our Pinson Valley games mixed up. The 6-touchdown game was at home in the first round of 2022. The cold game we're thinking of was the year before in 21 at Pinson here in the quarterfinals, where we avenged the loss to Kool-Aid McKinstry and the Pinson Valley Indians. Thank you, Robert, for the correction. Thank you for watching, and thank you for giving us a great running back all those years ago in your son Cole. Here's Hoffbauer again, left side, following his blockers, out of bounds around midfield.
Caden taking this game into his hands right now, and here's the thing. You've had quarterback run now 5, 6, 7 times running. At some point, and I believe this is a timeout called on the field for Pinson Valley, or by the officials as we're at the midway point of a quarter, but I think it's by Pinson Valley.
Yeah, Medical Properties Trust timeout taken by Pinson Valley. Mountain Brook working midfield now. Sorry, please continue.
No, I mean, William, you're the Pinson Valley defense. Caden's kept it the last 5 rushes. At some point, you're going to start cheating them, all right?
Yeah.
And the question is, do we catch them with their hand in the cookie jar, and how do we do it?
Absolutely. Well, tonight it's been John Colvin, 2 touchdown catches. We got Archie Andrews. We've got Trey Vinson. We've got Sam Smith. We've got 2 terrific tight ends in Bennett Jordan and Wallace Hunter. So I would say pick your poison if you're Coach Easley and Coach Yeager during this timeout.
And at this point, the play fake could even be just a plain Jane handoff to Stuart Andrews on the inside bend. And that's the advantage of effectively and efficiently running the ball with the quarterback.
2 receivers stacked to the near side and 1 to the bottom of your screen. 1st and 10 from midfield for Mountain Brook. And the play is set in motion. Rocco Gray will send this one to Hoffbauer, who stands at the 45. And Hoffbauer is going to allow our guys to reset. Stewart moves in the backfield. Hoffbauer rolling near side. He finds Colvin, who is knocked out at the 47.
I like giving a little bit of a different look right there. Even if it's just for a 2-yard game, you got to keep running this offense, trust in your system.
Trey Vinson, the receiver, to the near side, 3 to the top of your screen. Andrews to the left of Hoffbauer. Stewart will get this one on 1st down, find a hole, and tripped up right around the 41-yard line, brings up a 3rd and 1.
He was a few rubber pellets of AstroTurf away from that being a classic Stuart Andrews house call. A little bit tripped up on Henry Jimenez's foot.
Yeah, we talked about the right.
That is a well-blocked.
We did talk about the left side of the line early in the first half, but Henry Slaughter, Henry Jimenez working that right side, the junior and the senior respectively. Now a 3rd and 2. Ball marked at the 42-yard line with 4 minutes left to play. Stewart left and cuts back up on the middle, and it's enough to move the chains for a Spartan 1st down presented by Morris Shea Bridge.
Well, we've just been able to gash them with the run game, and you know, gonna need 6 plus the 2-pointer to tie this thing up, but you sure would love a little bit more time to chew the clock when you're running the ball like this. We are taking our time here, trying to get the right play in.
1st and 10 from the 36-yard line for Mountain Brook as they break the huddle. Colvin and Smith, the near receivers. Wallace Hunter, the tight end, to the bottom of your screen. Stuart Andrews motions. Hoffbauer with an empty backfield. Rolling to his right. Looks. Steps out. He's going to tuck this one and run down to the 30. A pickup of 6 for the senior quarterback.
Yeah, does a good job getting out of bounds and stopping the clock. Under 4 minutes here in the football contest. And we are putting a lot on the legs of one Caden Hoffbauer, the senior, trying to claw his way into the 6A state playoffs.
He was out at the 29, so we've got a 2nd and 3 for Hoffbauer. Stuart Andrews to his left. Trey Vinson to the bottom of your screen. And faking a give to Stewart. Hoffbauer's going to keep it back left side. And he gets out beyond the line to gain first down. Spartans down to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, another great decision by Hoff. Getting out of bounds, preserving that precious clock, and doing a great job reading number 11 right there. Getting the sticks. Now at the 25-yard line.
Spartans 5 yards away from the Royal Automotive red zone. Coach Easley and Coach Yeager get the signal in. Hoffbauer stands in the gun. Stewart to his left. Caden rolling to his right. Surveys. He's going to tuck it and run, using his feet, doing what he does best. Caden cuts back to the left side, inside the 5.
Wow.
Shakes and jukes a man into the end zone. Caden Hoffbauer, 25 yards for the score.
And Caden Hoffbauer had the scamper, but Archie Andrews had the key block. He's able to read it out, help his quarterback out, and say, hey.
Look at this, look at this.
Got
Coming
your
down.
escort.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. 6 for the senior. What a run from Caden Hoffbauer.
And it looks like we're going to take a timeout on this crucial two-pointer. Still plenty of time in the game, 3 minutes. We've got 2 timeouts remaining after that one that we just burned. But we want to make sure we've got a 2-point play that maybe goes a little bit more to schedule than the one against Homewood, but hopefully with the same result.
I tell you what, Caden Hoffbauer absolutely put the defender on skates and walks into the end zone like it's a candy store.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of stop cutbacks like that. It takes, was an athletic fella, but it takes you a minute to slow down and almost come to a complete stop before redirecting to the middle. But those defenders for Pinson Valley were just really focused on cutting them off to the pylon. Archie Andrews is in there to seal it, and that is a 25-yard scamper for the ages.
Caden Hoffbauer with his second touchdown run of the evening. He had one on the left side of the field earlier tonight, 17 or 18 yards. He goes 25 yards there for the score, and now the game-breaking 2-point conversion for the Spartans, down 2. With 2:59 to play in this contest.
I think either way, I want to keep the ball in number 11's hands, whether that's a run or if that is a
on the 2-point conversion, 3 receivers to the near side. Hoffbauer rolling to his right, facing pressure, throws. Incomplete, intended for Archie Andrews.
Yeah, I tell you what, almost the same play as our touchdown to Colvin in the first half. That time the throw just floated a little bit on us, and Archie unable to squeeze it. So now, down 2 points. You don't have to onside kick it, but you sure need a defensive stop. And another long drive with a sophomore place kicker if you want to try and come out of this contest with a good old-fashioned dub.
Well, Wayne, the last time our defense was on the field, they had a 4th down stop in the red zone. They're trying to pick up where they left off, and Yates Yarborough is going to try and pin Pinson in the worst spot possible. This is just good old-fashioned American high school football in the Deep South. Pinson leading Mountain Brook, but the Spartans have come from behind before. Yates Yarborough will send this one left to right, this Vulcan Tire and Automotive kickoff. Is up and away. Returnable, but fair caught at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, and a fair catch. I mean, again, unsure if they're watching college film a little too much, but that's going to stick him at the 15-yard line.
Pinson.
And I would have much preferred an attempt to return right there, but maybe they're saying, hey, we just want to corral the ball, prevent any sort of fumbles.
And Wayne, those who remember last year's contest, Pinson did have one, maybe two touchdowns return, kick returns returned for a touchdown. And so obviously they found some gaps in that Mountain Brook.
Yeah, you would think you'd want to give it a chance there, but.
So a 1st and 10 from the 15. Rico Freeman hands this one off, and Luke Waldrop comes in on the stop. Flag comes flying after the 4-yard gain.
Great tackle, a throw by the umpire here, and we're going to get what we believe is a face mask on the Spartans. So an unfortunate 15-yarder right there, marked off against the good guys. That's actually going to be a face mask of the 5-yard variety. And now we've got an injured player.
TJ Calhoun.
So
for Pinson Valley.
You know, highlighting the rule differences from college and high school. You no longer have the 5-yard incidental face mask at the collegiate level. It's all 15.
Wayne, let's zoom out here and look back. Mountain Brook gets a 4th down stop in the red zone on their last defensive possession. Spartans march the length of the field, much to the thanks of Caden Hoffbauer using his feet on the majority of plays. Colvin caught a pass on the near side, and we tried to stretch the field a little bit, but ultimately Hoffbauer on a 1st down from the 25 goes 25 yards for the score, puts a man on skates. We don't get the 2-point conversion, and here we are down to Pinson with the ball up to with 2:53 to go in the contest.
Yeah, Caden just a man on a mission to get his team some extra game weeks. I mean, you talk about the playoffs, it's never just about trying to win a state title. You know, if it was all about winning state titles, we wouldn't have had such a great tradition of football at Mountain Brook High School, because we've only got 2 of them, and it's been a minute, but it's about getting one more week with your brothers, your guys that you've been lacing it up with and thudding in practice and games and rec league games for nearly 9-10 years.
So to
get to the playoffs means at least one more week of that.
After the face mask penalty, it's a 1st and 10 for Pinson Valley from the Spartan 25. Boyd Cooper brought down. No gain for Rico Freeman on that 1st down.
Welcome back, Boyd. And that's going to be an injury which is going to stop the clock, unfortunately, both for Rico Freeman, who's injured, and for Pinson Valley, who's trying to run some clock in this game. And it seems to be a knee or ankle that they're working on, but they're stretching out. So
backup quarterback Raymond Howard, who we saw for a play earlier, will step in.
Yeah, the sophomore, and unfortunate time to start cramping. Man, those are 2 free timeouts that Pinson Valley has given the Spartans. And if I'm one of the coaches in the huddle for the Indians right now, I might be telling everyone, hey, unless you can't get off the field, save as much energy as you can to get to the sideline so we don't have to have these stoppages.
Brady Moscato giving us a sideline cam right there. That was our coaching staff, players and coaches huddled around on a incoming 2nd and 10. Boyd Cooper on the stop on 1st down, so 2:40 to go in the contest. We appreciate all of our crew and all of our viewers, Jonathan Barbie, Jason Anderson, Brady Moscato, and Brooklyn Anderson, working so hard. Cahaba Sports Group just doing a great job bringing Mountain Brook football alive and present each and every Friday night, and on this week a Thursday night. Wayne, I think we played 3 Thursday games last year, and every single one I was calling it a Friday night, so I feel like my batting average has increased tremendously.
Yeah, well, you've always been a slugger, Willie, and the Mountain Brook defense needs to be sluggers right here if we're going to return the football to our offense and give ourselves a shot to claw back into this contest. We got to come back from the dead one more time.
Yeah, Rico Freeman, the quarterback, injured player there, the injured Indian for Pinson Valley, walks out, and he's got his helmet off working the sideline. And now, as we said, Raymond Howard, sophomore quarterback, in for the Indians. Freeman with his helmet off, indicating he may not return, but maybe right after one play if they call a timeout.
Well, another helmet coming off there from Miller Crumpton. He's going to have to come out of play. Great flip by Mac Mandel of getting him the helmet back, and an even better stop by the Spartan defense. And we're going to have 3rd and 10 with a timeout called by the Spartans to halt the play clock at 2 minutes, 17 seconds.
And we're going to keep it right here. You've heard from a lot of our sponsors. We'll tell you about them verbally. How about our sponsors at the champion level? See and Stay 30A, Tootin Title and Escrow, and then all of our great commercial sponsors as well. You've seen commercials all throughout, and just appreciate our green level sponsors, our champions, our Spartan Plus, and just some great folks who support Mountain Brook Athletics, Mountain Brook football, and we encourage all of our viewers to check them out, support their businesses, attend their restaurants, and they are wonderful patrons and wonderful people. 3rd and 10 after this timeout, and Wayne, nice fall crisp breeze in the air, 2:17 left to play, playoffs on the line. And what do you think about the offseason and the dog days of February, March, April, May, right? And you're longing for high school football. These are the type plays and these are the type moments that you anticipate. And here we are now in mid-October, a big 3rd down for the Spartans.
Late shift there. Trying to unload the box.
Howard, the quarterback. Freeman back in the game. Picked off by the Spartans.
Miller
Lee running for all he's got. Picked off and gets down inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Taco Mama turnover from Miller, and he takes us the other way.
Well, Pinson Valley has a lot of things, but they don't have a Taco Mama because the Spartans dominate in that regard.
Right into
Miller
the
Lee,
hands
the senior
of the
linebacker. Admittedly, Miller Lee's been having to play out of position all year, stepping in to play Mike linebacker. That is a massive play by a guy who would have a lot more if he was able to play his traditional position, but due to injuries, being asked to.
So 1st and 10 for Mountain Brook inside the Royal Automotive Red Zone. Stuart Andrews
Stewart.
Bouncing this one back around into the end zone. Touchdown, Stewart, for the 7th time this year. 18 yards for the senior, and Mountain Brook regains the lead at Pinson Valley.
Well, it was Stewart right, Stewart left, and Stewart straight down to Valhalla.
Look at the blocking.
The former Viking finding the end zone, put the Spartans up 4, and we're going to go for a 2-point conversion to make this a full touchdown game. And oh, how quickly the turntables have turned.
The turntables have timed in the favor of the Spartans. Our offensive line sets a hat on a hat, and Stewart maneuvers his way all over the field and gives the Spartans the lead once again with 2:01 left to go. 32-28, 2-point conversion on the way.
Well, we've had a hat on a hat all night, and eventually the dam breaks.
Here's Hoffbauer, pressure, and he's going to have to escape. Rolling back to the Mountain Brook sideline, throwing it up to the end zone, goes for his man. This one incomplete, but Mountain Brook up 4 with 2:01 left to go.
And 4 is massive because it doesn't mean, or it means rather, that 3 won't cut it. I was about to trip myself up with more double negatives than I was ever born with. But that means 6 points is all that's going to matter. And I see number 7, TJ Calhoun, with the hands on head, just frustrated that things have flipped so much on a dime. This is a playoff spot on the line. And more than that, I mentioned it earlier, it's about being with your brothers, your teammates, for one more week. And the Spartans with a bye week at the end of the season, it's really 2 more weeks for us as a team. And those moments are just so special that I would love it for our boys if they could earn the right to continue the competitive high school football season for one more sweet week. Got to get it done with the last 2:01 in this one, and got to get it done 2 more weeks after it. But so far, so good.
Yates Yarborough sends this one left to right. Floated to the 17, and this one will be returned by Pinson Valley.
Great tackle.
And great job by the Mountain Brook defense.
That's
reaching their assignments.
35, Payne Pennebaker. An honorary tackle by Bo Finch, our other number 35. Call out my guy Bo there.
And Pinson Valley will have 1 minute and 55 seconds.
I mean, huge tackle by Payne.
76 yards.
Really, if you think about it, one of the more dangerous plays for a touchdown is that kickoff. And for us to be able to secure the ball down on the proper side of the 50-yard line, this time on the 24.
If you're just joining us, we welcome you to a wonderful, thrilling high school football game. Pinson Valley trying to drive with under 2 minutes to go, down 4.
Luke Carroll was a pair of platform shoes away from an interception there of his own.
Chris Thomas brings that one in for a first down for Pinson Valley, running the 2-minute offense. Yep. That one to the 34-yard line, 1st and 10 Indians.
Yep. And we're going to keep 4 players deep and have 2 or 3 underneath.
Here's Rico Freeman going long again. This one brought in at midfield, and a shaking defender.
Unreal.
An offensive burnout from number 8, R.J. Addison, the sophomore, takes it the distance. He goes 65 yards, and just like that, Pinson Valley's back on top.
And that's such a tough one for the Mount Brook coaching staff to stomach. You've got a safety over the top for a reason. You're kind of giving that mid 15, 20-yard intermediate hole in the zone, trusting that your guys are going to be able to make the tackle, but some quick shake and bake and some elite speed. And now the Spartans back on the wrong side of the scoreboard.
Wayne, this feels like quite the track meet. 34-32, the Indians with the lead. Going for the point after would be a 3-point, and that one is barely chipped over the upright.
Yeah,
good.
we got
35-32.
Got a piece of it and would have been meaningful because it could have made a field goal for the win for the Spartans, but instead we're going to get the football back.
I tell you what,
6 to take the lead and 3 to force overtime, and we are once again going back to the well and asking for one last wish.
1:38 to go in the game. Mountain Brook seesawing the lead with Pinson Valley. The Indians go 65 yards on a pass and a great juke from R.J. Addison, the 5'5 sophomore, using his shiftiness to get to the end zone, shake the Mountain Brook defender, and go the distance. They regain the lead, and Pinson Valley is going to kick this one right to left. Mountain Brook has 1:38 to go to find the end zone once more.
Yeah, good return would be nice here. Looks like they're going to go with their directional kick once more.
This one goes high into the Pinson sky, fielded at the 10. It's John Colvin across the 25 down to the 28-yard line, 1st and 10. Caden Hoffbauer is going to try and take that momentum from the last drive and roll 72 yards and see what we've got.
Yeah, buck 32, 2 timeouts. Still plenty of time, but for a Spartan offense that's run the ball really effectively, it's going to be tough to justify that when you're this far backed up.
Ball spotted at the 29. Hoffbauer coming near side, got Trey Vinson, and he is knocked out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line.
And I see hands up, so we got out of bounds. Clock will stop at a buck 29, 26.
8-yard gain from senior to senior, Hoffbauer to Vinson. 2nd and 2 coming up from the 37-yard line.
That time, Spartans taking advantage of the softer zone.
Trey Vinson, the tailback now in the backfield. And Vinson motions to the right of Hoffbauer, who takes the snap. Plenty of time thanks to the O-line. Looking long, got a man, and Sam Smith brings it in across the 30. First down, Spartans, 1:19 to go. Huge reception from the senior.
That is a big-time throw from Caden Hoffbauer and a big-time catch and focus by Sam Smith. Look at this, just going to drop it right in the bucket.
I tell you, William Tabb, Rocco Gray, giving him all the time in the world in that right side. Henry Slaughter, Henry Jimenez, and down to the 28-yard line, first down, Spartans.
The best part is now we can kind of settle back in and run the football. Take our time with 2 timeouts remaining.
Rocco Gray will send this to Hoffbauer. First and 10 from the 28. Wide receivers headed to the end zone, but Hoffbauer in trouble. And looking, trying to find a gap, and gets a block on the right side, down inside the 20, out of bounds with 1:08 left to go.
Well,
Spartans in the Royal Automotive red zone.
It's a fortunate thing that I'm not Caden Hoffbauer, because I mentally hit the throw it away button, and he's able to get an extra 12 yards. Mainly because Trey Vinson and Henry Jimenez did not give up on the play and threw a block for him.
That is the beauty of Caden Hoffbauer, being able to extend plays with his legs. He scored on the last drive, and he gets out at the 16-yard line. Spartans working the Royal Automotive red zone. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Trey Vinson, the tailback. Hoffbauer rolling to his left. Throws incomplete, and clock stops at 1:03.
It'll be 2nd and 10 again, and we sub Stuart Andrews back in. Again, I'm not opposed to finding that run game again. It's been successful for us, especially as we've leaned on these guys late in the second half. And when you're in a 2-minute scenario, they're still thinking pass.
Wayne, we went 94 yards at Homewood in 59 seconds. We're at the 16-yard line with 1:03 to go. That is more than enough time. A 2nd and 10. Hoffbauer is going to hand it to himself. He's going to keep it. Running left side, gets a block from Colvin. Hoffbauer again, scoring and saving the day for the Spartans. For the 3rd time, Caden uses his feet and finds the end zone for Mountain Brook.
Well, that is just picturesque.
16
decision-making and athleticism by Caden Hoffbauer. He's got the read play. We go back to the ground. He's wise enough to pull that ball, and we are wise enough to kick the extra point here to try and make this a 4-point game.
Patrick Cry on the snap, Sam Smith on the hold, and Yates Yarborough answers the bell. The Nichols Concrete point after is good, 39-35. I tell you, if you went to the bathroom a couple minutes ago and you see the scoreboard now, you might have a lot of questions.
Well, as Taylor Eister would tell me, did we score too soon? We did last time, and ideally we did not this time. We would love to bleed this last 56 seconds off the clock. And as William Galloway would say, let's get out of here. Well, an original quote by one Billiam G.
Yeah, that's certainly not my friend and mentor.
I've never
Chris
heard
Stewart.
anyone else say that, especially after an exciting road win.
All right, 3-point game with 56 seconds left to go. We saw ourselves here just a few moments ago, game time. And Wayne, however this may end up, Yates Yarborough eats for free the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was really the game changed on his punt that was unable to be fair caught, rolled all the way down to the 2, and even after a 15-yard penalty, we were able to get the ball back in excellent field position.
And a mishandle on the return from the Indians, the Spartan defense. It's Payne Pennebraker bringing down the house again inside the 15-yard line.
Well, Payne hits it with the back-to-back, and that was the speedy sophomore receiver, number 8, R.J. Addison, that put his team up last time he touched the ball. Got a little too giddy on that one, and stop me if you heard this before, but they'll take over at the 15-yard line.
Well, I need to make a correction on a previous play. We've got a 4-point game, 39-35. Thank you, Jonathan, for getting that graphic straight, and the back and forth and the scoregami nature of this high school football game has put me in a bind and a tizzy, but we're going to figure it out in these last 49 seconds. 1st and 10 for the Indians from their own 15. It's Rico Freeman, and he's got a lot of time in the backfield, but that could be dangerous. Pass complete across the far side around the 27-yard line. Man brings it in. First down, Indians.
Boyd Cooper just about had it packaged up,
and they're moving quickly. The chains are not set.
That's false start. Should be a false start.
Official was not over the ball. But Rico Freeman, using all the time in the world, rolling, goes down around the 35. Clock running, 23-22. Timeout on the field taken by Pinson.
Yeah, I for one am confused how 34 seconds ran off right there when they got a first down. I'm not sure it was communicated that the first down was had, so the clock just kept running.
Yeah, a question, and not on the officiating, but a questionable as a player, as a patron, as someone consuming this game. Did he bring it in? Did he not? Clock runs, and now the chains didn't even get set, but the official wasn't over the ball, so Pinson, trying to move quickly with less than a minute to go, finds themselves now with a 2nd and 4 from the 33-yard line.
Yeah, William, they lost at least 15 seconds on that. So a miscommunication. We've had adventures with the down and distance marker all game, eventually having to switch back to our analog old friend, borrowed from their JV set. And now can
2nd and 4.
Keep them in bounds when I believe they only have one timeout remaining.
2nd and 4 from their own 33. Rico Freeman stands in the gun, 3 receivers to the far side. Pressure from the Mountain Brook defensive front. Freeman going all the way down. Hayes Wendell in on the coverage. No flags, and the Spartans secondary is ready for battle.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a great instinctual play there. Not letting the top be taken off, and really some boxing out almost at the end there by Hayes Wendell. Receiver had a chance to high point it, but thanks to the position and leverage of the senior cornerback.
Timeout on the field taken by Coach Yeager.
I love this call.
Well, and Wayne, too, let's talk about, we went back and forth. We agreed. We didn't agree with some calls, but because some have gone against Hayes in a similar situation earlier in the game, Rico Freeman using his hands and his ability to get the ball downfield, Hayes has learned to figure out, all right, here's how closely they're calling it. Here's where I need to be in position. So he's taking those lessons learned from earlier in the game that we may consider mistakes to now be beneficial and in our favor right now, which is the key of a smart player, and we know somebody like Hayes Wendell is more than capable of that.
Yeah, and this Spartan team, they can be a little hurt, little blood in their mouth, and until they hear that final bell, they've been able to get back up and respond. And really the first sign that we didn't have that in us was last week in the blowout. And if you rewound the clock about an hour and said, hey, we got blown out last week and we're down 15 on the road, you might have been willing to count these Spartans out, but that would have been because you didn't know what kind of heart these guys have and what they play for, and they play for each other.
15 seconds to go in this ball game. Pinson Valley down 4. Rico Freeman, plenty of time, going long again. Downfield, incomplete, going for the home run ball. That takes 6 seconds off the clock, and all of the Mountain Brook defense was there in on the stop. Luke Carroll, Gaines Drew, Mac Mandel, you name it.
I'll tell you what, if I was Rico Freeman right now and I could run probably about a 4.3 and was shaky, I would drop back, hoping we get the 3-man rush again, and take off. Go ahead and get the first down, get to a little bit over midfield, and go down and set yourself up for a Hail Mary.
9 seconds to go, a 4th and 4 for Pinson Valley. They're going to have all they need with their hands full. Freeman going deep again. Incomplete. No flags. And as Chris Stewart would say, let's get out of here after these 2 seconds of the clock tick off.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hayes Wendell has given every last ounce for his football team. The senior, Coach Pell, told me this morning, as long as Hayes still has a foot attached to his leg, he's going to play. And he has been in a ton of pain But 3 straight plays right there. He comes up in a big way, and we are going to get the opportunity to exercise victory formation.
Rocco Gray waving his guys in. Coach Jay Collins, Coach Easley getting that final call in, making sure we are controlled. They're rolling up the mats here at Pinson Valley tonight, and the Spartans are going to hold on and win a thriller over the Indians in a Region 6 matchup of doom, and Mountain Brook wins it to keep their playoffs hopes alive.
I mean, you literally cannot fathom a more impressive comeback to save the season unless it was down roughly 14 at Homewood like 2 weeks ago. Might have been a little bit cooler, but this one was commanding. We ran the ball. We trusted the senior gunslinger.
Victory formation. The Spartans win it 39-35 on the road. The playoff hopes are alive and well for the boys in green and gold, and we're leaving Center Point and headed back to the Tiny Kingdom victorious.
I mean, just culture and tenacity. Somebody asked me the other day about culture, and I said, you know, usually if you got to talk about culture, you probably don't have a good one. And with the Spartans, we don't have to talk about it. We get to see it. That is a team that doesn't say die, a team that won't quit, a team that plays for more than themselves. They're not playing for college scholarships or future athletic endeavors. Most of them are going pro in something other than sports. But, man, they wanted one more week. And if we can capitalize against Shades Valley and Huffman, then one more week we will have.
I tell you what, Wayne, victory formation is great. High fives after the game on a victory are great, but nothing better than winning on the road and keeping your playoff hopes alive. You see guys out there like Lawson McKnight and Graham Smith who aren't able to strap it up. Plenty of injured Spartans at this point in the season, mid-October. Everybody has got something.
Well, and I'll tell you what, for the first game this year, I think our defense was more banged up than our offense. We got Stewart back. He was able to complete the game. You know, we had our receiving core back, Archie Andrews back. Really just missing Pearson Avery on the offensive line. And it was the offense ultimately that bounced back. I believe we had 26 second-half points, doubling our total from the first half of contest, and tip of the cap to Brad Easley and Chris Yeager. I mean, literally walking by the locker room, you could see just the mental anguish they were in trying to game plan for the second half, and an excellent job by the Spartan coaching staff to figure it out and get us a win.
I tell you what, Wayne, if I could read lips right now, I'd love to hear what Coach Yeager's saying. I see his son Clay, our videographer, creative videographer, who does such a great job with our videos and social media and game recaps. His video is going to be incredible, but we will have that audio, and all I know is that he's saying great things about the heart and the tenacity and the fight of these guys and the brotherhood. You see captains Billy Farrow and William Tabb circling the team up tonight. And as part of this Dr. John Young Sports Medicine and Orthopedics postgame show, we just want to say thank you to our viewers, to our sponsors, to our school administration. We've got a long weekend coming up, an E-Day for the students, a professional work day for the staff tomorrow, and a great job from our crew. Jonathan, Jason, Brady, and Brooklyn doing a wonderful job. But Wayne, all in all, final thoughts from you as we go home victorious in an emotional and a critical and a well-deserved win.
Well, Rudyard Kipling wrote in a poem that it's not often the victor that gets all the spoils, it's the man that thinks he can. And this team, they never gave up. They never thought they couldn't. And the funny thing is, if you keep coming back and you keep trying and you keep putting in the effort, eventually your number's going to get called. And that's just an impressive, I mean, back-to-back seasons now for the Spartans where they have been up against the ropes and found ways to win when you were ready to pack it up and take it home. So hats off to those guys. Off-season work that's turning into in-season success. And, hey, let's go get a dub against Shades Valley and Huffman.
Hey, we're back at home.
Get on in the dance.
Next week against the Huffman Vikings. It's homecoming, but don't let the emotions fool you. The Spartans need to continue to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. We will see you next Friday night for homecoming at Spartan Stadium in the lovely confines of Mountain Brook High School. For Wayne Ingram and our entire production crew, I'm William Galloway saying good night and thank you for tuning in to Mountain Brook football. Spartans win this one 39-35 over the Pinson Valley Indians. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend and go Spartans.